Hello everyone, welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me once again is my buddy Chris. Hello, Chris.
How's it going?
No Austin tonight. He is on break this week. He's left town for Easter, and so he's not doing any shows with us this week, which is probably good. You know, he's on the channel like 3 times a week. He's probably really sick of the sound of my voice by now. I forgot to flip my light back here, Chris, and just the lack of mood lighting is going to drive me crazy. Give me a second. I got fixed this. It's just going to drive me insane.
We're having some technical difficulties here. Please stand by.
That was some quality stalling.
Exactly. You know what? If you need me to vamp, I gotcha.
So over the weekend, first of all, let me say thanks for being here, and it's been like 3 weeks.
Yes, yeah, it has been.
It's like we're going to Catholic confessional every time we come back here. Like,
exactly.
It's been 3 weeks since our last stream.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Bless me, Father, for I have conned.
I have sinned. I have not been reviewing my comics like I'm supposed
yeah, exactly.
to. Anyway, so I've got once again a big stack of stuff. I haven't read everything, but I'm going to review several books and go through all the stuff that I bought over the last 3 weeks. And as always, we'll talk about what's coming out tomorrow. And Chris and I also went to Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City over the weekend, and we bought some fun stuff there that we're going to show you. And we'll probably open with that and go through all of our buys. I spent a decent amount at the con.
Yes.
We did a segment on Captain Logan Show last night on Planet talking about all the non-comic stuff that we got, Jason and I. But I will re-show a couple of things from that show in case you missed it. I just won't talk about it for as long. But I'm going to do primarily the comic stuff tonight. And as I said last night, it was a bittersweet event for me, because and I said this last night, but like we laughed, we cried, we spilled milk on our good pants. There is some really great things that happened, and then a couple of sad tragedies, and I'll talk about those a little bit later. Manu is still making jokes about watching the stream behind us. He says he just put in a 20 Mexican pesos super chat. Thanks, man. He says 2 minutes behind, but this will go long, so I'll catch up. So he came on last week, one of our Disney Manias, and he was 25 minutes behind in a commentary, so he kept responding to things that were happening half an hour later. And then he said he would catch up, and we're like, that's not how time works. And so he's still laughing about that. Anyway, I also want to mention before we start getting into stuff, just some house cleaning things, that we've changed our schedule slightly here on the channel. So the Captain Logan Show is going to be on Mondays now around 9 Central. It's the one show we're doing during the week that's a little bit earlier than our normal 10 o'clock time. And because of that, we are condensing Comic Book Late Night and the Comic Vault into one show. And we're going back to what it was like 14 years ago, Chris. Because I don't know if you know this, but the Comic Vault began as a segment on Comic Book Late Night. It was not always a show. And then forever it was... Now, I occasionally do like just a Vault discussion, and I might do like solo stuff occasionally where I'll just review one book. I haven't done that in a long time. I'd like to get... As my toddler is getting older, I want to get back to doing some shorter videos occasionally again, and I really miss doing that kind of stuff. So you might see Vaults on their own again, but in our stream schedule, the Vaults folded back into this, and so this show will not change that much, except the review at the end will sometimes be older content. Tonight, it is not. Tonight, I let Chris pick the book.
Yes.
And his first time getting to pick, and we are going to review the first trade for Immortal Thor, which started just last year.
Yes.
That's an Al Ewing?
Al Ewing,
Ewing book. Al Ewing wasn't at the con this weekend, was he?
He wasn't, no. I don't think so, at least. I mean, there were a few folks there who I walked by and was like, what are you doing? Why? Oh, not why, but that says a lot meaner than I meant.
You're like,
how did you end up here?
You're like, I missed you on the list.
Exactly,
I didn't know you were going to be here.
I walked by and it's like, how did I miss you?
Yeah, I had that a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then there were other people that were supposed to be there that I couldn't find.
Yes.
There was a little bit of that going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But anyway, so I wanted to mention that the only other thing changing about the show is we're no longer going to have people pick based on total super chats. Now what we're going to do is, and I have picked the thing that we'll do for the very next show because it's what we were supposed to do for the old Vault show.
Right.
Is everyone following this? But starting tonight, we will begin the list for the new wheel, because we love wheels here on the channel.
We do.
And Austin and I will each add a couple things. We'll let Chris put some stuff on it, and we'll let you guys with $5 super chats put something on the wheel. So anytime you want to leave a $5 super chat, and you can do as many in a show as you want to, just know that that will decrease the chances of, well, it will increase your chances of something that you wanted coming up on the wheel. That's true. If people put too many things on, I might limit it to a couple. But right now, this sounds greedy, but right now we've got a few enough folks that show up late for this show that I feel like it's probably okay for right now to say, if you want to throw 4 or 5 things on the wheel, that's probably okay. And then you'll increase your chances of something that you want coming up. But each of those things has less of a chance of themselves coming up. So anyway, can be anything now from any era, as long as we can get our hands on it and read it. I am going to say, please don't pick things like webcomics.
Yeah, right.
And please don't pick things that are explicit enough that we would consider them pornography comics.
Right.
If that
Which
makes
could
sense.
Also be a webcomic too.
Yeah, but those are the only things I'm going to ask for. So we did have somebody a couple weeks ago that left a super chat to pick a thing, and I was going to allow it until I looked it up and found out what it was, and it turned out it was a webcomic.
Yeah.
And so apologies there, but and I'm trying to remember who that. I think it was Braden maybe. If Braden wants to put something on the wheel that we would allow, I will count that, since he was supposed to get to pick the next thing we did.
Right.
But that's why Chris is picking tonight instead of what that pick was.
I'm just keeping Cap away from Homestuck. We don't need to. We don't need to open that can of worms.
I don't even know what that is.
I have made it this far with not interacting with Homestuck outside of like a few cosplayers.
559 says Wheel of the Worst. Well, hopefully not. I mean, if people want to put really horrible things on it, that is totally fine.
Yeah.
Braden, it's not a matter of hate for webcomics. It's just not what we do here.
Not really, no. Now, I will say, too, that I do know that there are a few
exceptions to everything. Years ago, I reviewed a fan webcomic that was a continuation of the live-action Mario movie.
Oh, nice.
Because the art was spectacular, and the writing was, like, really on point with it. The guy never finished it, unfortunately.
It sounds amazing,
it
actually.
It was really, really good. So, like, there are exceptions I would maybe
and I will say, too, that, I mean, I did wear an Akewood shirt to play at Comic-Con, and I will go to bat for the great outdoor fight, but still.
I'm not gonna say, like, don't pick stuff nobody's ever heard of.
Yes.
But again, like, I've got to be able to get my hands on it.
Yeah,
but I would prefer stuff that folks would be, like, more than one person would be interested in us talking about.
Right.
If at all possible.
Yes.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about Planet. So Chris, I met and got signatures from several comic artists.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a couple of books I got signed, I'll just get this out of the way right now, I somehow lost at the con.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It's really strange. The only thing so both of these books, they're going to cost me a little bit to replace, and I won't have the signatures now, which is sad. But it was like, it was a gut punch when I realized it, because I got through the whole day. It was like 10 o'clock at night when I finally realized it. It's like, wait a minute, where are those two? Like, I was reminiscing in my head about meeting Dan Jurgens, and I went, wait a minute, I don't have the book that Dan Jurgens signed. What happened? What am I doing? So I got a black bag Superman. I'll just get this out of the way. I got a black bag Death of Superman signed by Dan Jurgens. And I got this is the one that really hurts. I got an Amazing 361, which is first full appearance of Carnage, signed by Mark Bagley. And that is a $50 book. And what's funny about it is he would only sign for free if you personalized it. And I went, well, I'm never going to sell this book. So I let him personalize it.
Right.
And he scrawled all the way across. Like, it was the biggest signature I've ever seen.
Oh,
he scrawled
man.
all across the front of it.
Oh.
And so somebody now has their hands on an amazing 361 signed by Mark Bagley that says Captain Logan across the front.
I hope whoever stole your book is named Logan, at least.
It's hilarious.
At least, yeah.
Well, and to be fair, I don't think anyone stole these.
Right.
I think I set them down somewhere and lost them, and I mean, somebody had to have picked them up, of course. But there was just, like, I didn't find out about it until way later, so there's not like a lost and found I could go to.
Yeah.
That place is huge. There's like thousands and thousands of people that go to that con.
Yeah.
It's preposterous how big it is.
I've heard everything from like 70 to 90,000. Yeah.
There's no chance I'm ever going to get my hands on it unless somebody happens to see the show or sees the Facebook post I made about it and is like, wait a minute, I got that, but I'm small potatoes enough. Whoever found those books is not gonna see this.
Right.
So anyway, the Death of Superman book is very cheap, relatively. There's a million of those. That's not gonna be hard to replace.
Yeah.
It just sucks because Dan Jurgens has a great signature.
Oh yeah.
And you know he signs it in silver right across the bag.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And he signed a bazillion of those, but it's funny because that is like a $10 book, even still sealed. And it's funny because you seem to have to pay the same whether people open it or not.
Yeah.
But so the next time I get it, I'll probably open it because I've never actually looked at the stuff that's inside. You get the armband and all of that. I never actually looked at it. I always kept it sealed. And then in researching this, knowing I was going to have to replace it, I went, well, what does it cost unsealed versus sealed?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Nobody cares. Yeah. So I was like, fine, I'm going to open it next time.
Yeah, exactly.
but anyway, the few people that have those on eBay are trying to get $100 for them.
Right.
And I don't know that Jurgens' signature is worth that, but that's what people were trying to get for it. So anyway, that kind of now I do already have a Jurgens signature. I'd never met him before, but I happen to have a Death of Superman poster that he signed.
Yeah.
That I just got at a store somewhere. Yeah. So I do have his signature. Bagley, I don't. Hopefully I'll meet him again at some point.
Yeah.
But that's the one that really hurts.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, at least you got to talk to Bagley because like he was one of those guys who I forgot was coming. Who I walked by and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's here too." And I was like, I've got so many like old 90s like Clone Saga era books. I've got like a couple of like Ultimate Trade. So, it was one of those that like after the fact it's like could have.
I thought of things I wish I'd said to him after I talked to him.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say Bagley was standoffish or anything, but he wasn't just like immediately, like bright and chipper and like let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like most guys I've talked to that seem a little reserved will open up when you start getting into something.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something they haven't heard about in a long time.
Right.
So I should have brought up Thunderbolts because I reviewed that with Austin not too long ago.
Oh, nice.
And we talked about how funny it was that there was one panel in the first few issues of Thunderbolts with Spider-Man because there's very few like big name superheroes in that book for a long time.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was so excited to get to draw Spider-Man, and just the idea that Bagley is itching to draw Spider-Man.
I know, yeah.
Is so funny.
It's like I got great news for the next 20 years of your career.
I should have talked to him about that. That's pretty funny. But I did tell him that I've loved his stuff forever, and he looks at me and he's like, I'm not that old. Anyway, so I'll show you some stuff that I did get. The big thing, and thank God I didn't drop this somewhere. The deal, by the way, with those books is both of those guys told me after they signed them, be careful not to put it back in the bag and board right away because it'll smear.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around holding them. And I this is why it was those books, because it was both of them at the same time. I got one after the other. And I'm walking around with both of them. And I distinctly remember putting at least the Black Bag Superman book back in the bag and board at some point.
Right.
But somehow I guess it didn't get back in my bag. So I I have a comic like satchel that I carry. It's actually a really cool bag. But somehow didn't get that back in the bag. So it really sucked. But this I did not lose. So this is, I try to get a sketch cover these days at most cons I go to. And I got one done by Rick Stacy, who is a like veteran comic artist going all the way back to the 80s, actually late 70s, I think. And he was telling me stories about Julie Schwartz, and he knew Breyfogle really well. I asked him if he was friends with Breyfogle. He started telling me Breyfogle stories, and we hit it off really well. He's local, and he's actually going to come here in person and do a show with us. Either Comic Late Night or Captain Logan show. Not sure which, but I'm just going to let him tell a bunch of stories. And I don't go to cons these days. I like talking people up, trying to get guests on the shows. I will occasionally do a guest. I'm not huge into interviews anymore. But he talked my ear off for 10 minutes telling me all these crazy stories, and seemed really open to talk about anything. And I was like, do you want to just come do a podcast? And he was like, I would love it. Let's do that.
Let's get you on the record, man.
He was very excited about it.
That's cool.
And I was like, do you get on Discord or anything? He didn't even know what that was. and he said, where do you live? And I'm like, I'm here. He's like, I'm here too. I was like, well, I've got a studio in my basement. He goes, me too. And he was like, anyway, but he was like, why don't I come to your place and we'll do that? So we'll have him at some point. But this is the sketch that he did for me, which is just spectacular. And a little minimal. He was kind of worried about the dark blue on the sketch cover. And so he wanted to do just a big Batman face, and this was an idea he said he had for a sketch cover for a while that he'd been itching to do for somebody. So when I pulled this up, and I love the city in the background. It's cool he went that far. And I just love the use of shadow and like all of the blue space where like, the blue for Batman really pops. And he was like, well, he's not going to have the white eyes. And I'm like, yeah, but it's going to look great. And the coolest thing about it is the framing of the bat ear around the logo. That's cool. That's pretty neat. But this is a facsimile. I think I showed this when I bought it. This is a facsimile of Batman Adventures 12, which I'll probably never get a first printing of because I just don't want to pay for it. That's for Spirits of Harley Quinn. That's still $400, $500, $600 book. Maybe it's not quite that much. Maybe it's down to like 3 or 4 now. I forget. It's been a while. Still, but anyway, I'm not a big enough Harley Quinn fan that I have to have that. So I have a 12 that is somewhat valuable now because I got a great sketch on it.
Here's the thing, though. When you first showed me that, I didn't realize it was a sketch cover. I thought, oh yeah, that's a great variant. And then it registered like, oh wait.
I mean,
it was the blue that threw me off. It was the blue.
You pay for professionalism.
That's fair,
Chris, and that's a real professional artist. Also, Stacy is one of the most versatile comic artists I've ever seen.
Really?
I don't know if you've looked at his stuff, but like early on, he did more of this kind of Saturday morning cartoon stuff. He did some Disney stuff. He did some like the Duck characters and things like that. And what he draws, and then he did, I think he did maybe one of the Batman Adventure comics. I can't remember, but he's done some Batman. And then what he does now is not like photorealistic, but like much more detailed, more realistic looking faces. And it's you put 3 of his covers next to each other, and I told him this, and you couldn't tell it was the same artist. It's really cool. And hopefully he'll bring over some of his stuff.
That'd be cool,
and we can maybe dissect his work a little bit.
We can just look at it in awe, be like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's really neat. And like I said, he was friends with everybody you've heard of at DC back from that period. So it'll be a lot of fun to talk to him. And then Chris and I both got signatures from Dan Mora. Jason and I are both big Mora fans, so we each got something from him. I'm actually going to have to give him my Class number 1 and buy another one. Luckily, that's not a hard book to get. I don't know why. That is still a $4 or $5 book. That it's never gone up in price.
Really?
And you'd think it would with Mora being such a big deal now.
Yeah, with Mora basically exploding in the years since, and Morrison is semi-retired now too.
That's true.
So I mean, you have you have like two different levels of value, going up.
Yeah, so the industry has really slept on this book. I don't know, it's strange. But anyway, I need to get another one before they pick up on it.
Right.
But Mora, I was wondering what he was charging, being like one of the biggest deals in comics right now.
Yeah.
And he was only charging $10 for signatures. Which is pretty cool. And like some guys don't charge anything, and usually the people that do are either, just for people that haven't done this, are either like huge right now. So like your Snyders, your Tom Kings, those guys are going to charge.
Yeah.
People that are huge veterans that command long lines, like a Claremont.
Yes.
Now, some of those guys you would think would be like that and aren't, like Jim Starlin. I don't understand that. Starlin had no line. And one of my big tragedies for the con is I brought something for Starlin, and I saw he didn't have much of a line. I got distracted by something else I had to deal with. I was going to come back to him later, and by the time I got back, he was gone already. I didn't get Starlin, which really sucks. And it would have been really easy. He was right across from Claremont, who still has a line that wraps around the block.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody was there for Starlin, and I'm like, it kind of actually makes me angry.
A little bit, yeah. I don't know see
if you
that
have
too.
This. It pisses me off.
Yeah, no, he's good too. He's just as important.
I would argue for sheer, like, amounts of dollars that, like, the TV and movie industry has made.
Yes.
He's more important.
Well, here's the thing.
Somebody needs to explain to me why all these people that I'm positive have never read a comic book are going up to Claremont to get their X-Men stuff signed.
Yeah.
But none of them know that Starlin invented freaking Thanos.
Yeah.
And that you wouldn't have the MCU at all like it is without him.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It pisses me off, actually.
And you go to, like, the random person on the street, they know about the snap. They know about something that, like, 20 years ago was such, like, obscure deep cut. Even if you knew about the Infinity Gems, even if you played the N64 game, the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Same.
You're all the Marvel vs. Capcom stuff that used Infinity. Like, even in the 90s, a lot of us were familiar with Infinity. Now, you could say with Claremont, well, he created a lot more well-known characters.
Yeah.
That's fair, but Starlin was the architect of Cosmic Marvel after Jack Kirby. It's Kirby and it's Starlin, and those are the guys. Now, part of it with Starlin could also be Claremont has continued to lean into the X-Men fame. And Starlin does not put any of his old Marvel stuff out at his table. It's all about his old creator-owned stuff. And if he's bitter about what's happened with him in Marvel, that's completely understandable.
Yeah, because I think...
And I don't think he's like... I don't think he refuses to sign stuff.
Right. He's not Don Rosa. He doesn't have the sign. This is a DuckTales.
Keep
I
that
walked
away
by
from
and saw
me.
him tapping that sign at one point.
I
mean, I've heard he's a nice enough dude as long as you don't,
Sure.
Life's like a hurricane, though.
But anyway, so our Dan Mora stuff. So I got a class number 1 signed by Dan Mora. Jason did that, and I'm going to let him have this one, and I'm going to replace it. And then I got Go-Go Power Rangers 2, because that's just a great Power Rangers cover.
Yeah.
And I had lots of Mora stuff I could have done. We were talking before the show about Immortal Legend Batman.
Yeah.
That's a recent thing that would have been wonderful to get signed.
Yeah, which I was mad at myself for not pulling out, too. But I did get my 30th anniversary Power Rangers cover here, too.
We both went Power Rangers.
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff in that book, by the way.
I do want,
That's a good one.
Yeah, I do want, somebody asked if they credited Jim Starlin in Infinity War, which I think they put him in, like, the special thanks.
Yeah, but they didn't give him the big deal credit.
Yeah. And I remember reading something just recently.
Like Kirby got that credit in Fantastic Four, but they didn't do it for Starlin, and it's nonsense.
No, and I remember reading somewhere just recently how I guess Jim Starlin made more money from KG Beast in BVS than he did for the entire MCU, than Thanos appearing in everything. That is, I don't know, like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but that is something I've recently read. So, I'll have to fact check that to be sure, but, it's one of those, like, I do know, DC has slightly better creator royalty policies than Marvel, slightly, but that's still kind of up in the air. Like how if you create a character, you get royalties from them unless they're part of like an established franchise.
Right.
But if they become part of an established franchise, like how Power Girl became a Kryptonian, then it's like, nope, sorry, part of the brand.
Yeah, so that's a loophole they can use anytime they want to.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, so I want to get away from that and get through this stuff. The reason I went with Power Rangers is because one of the reasons Mora is a big deal for me is Heroes of the Grid.
Yes, yeah.
Because he did a lot of the original art for the board game, and I own all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I told him, by the way, that me and my family are huge into that game, that I own everything, and I told him about my massive wall of that. He just looked at me and goes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was fun to get to talk to him about that. And then I'll just go through some other signatures that I got real quick. I got... oh yeah, Dustin Nguyen was there.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw him.
I didn't see him. No.
Yeah, but I got an old Batman Beyond book signed by him, and this was. I think this one books for a little bit. This was. I'm glad I didn't lose this.
Yeah.
But like that's maybe like a $10 book. I forget. But anyway, that was the first issue of the mini when they first brought Batman Beyond back that Adam Beechin did, and then they did a long ongoing after that. And part of the reason I went for that is because that was one of the things that got me back into current years ago. And I talked to Beechin a couple times on the channel. Yeah. And then I showed this when I bought it. I have this like perfect pristine copy of Simpsons #1 that I bought at a flea market a few months ago, and I got this signed by Bill Morrison, who did the art for this and who actually charges for a signature, which I was initially surprised by, and I wasn't sure I was gonna do it until I realized that. So I meant to say this earlier. The other way you get away with charging for signatures on comics is if you had a big job in film or television.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the production designer for Futurama, which I did not know.
Yeah.
And so he's not just a comics guy; he's an animation guy.
Nice.
And he was like the Futurama guy apparently.
Right.
And he did some of the work on he did covers, and he wasn't the main artist, but he did some other stuff, layouts or something, on the Futurama Simpsons crossover. I don't know if you've ever read that.
Oh, nice. No,
but it's one of my favorite things. It's so good. And he and I talked about just how great that hardcover was, because it's got this big slipcase, and I'll show it to you. It's really cool.
Yeah. I
kind of wish I'd brought him that and had him sign that, but it was kind of fortuitous that he happened to be at that con just after I bought this.
Yeah.
And even he looked at this one and was like, wow, that's in really good shape. I was like, yeah, it's great. So anyway, so I have like probably a 9.2 or a 9.8 Simpsons one signed by him. So that's pretty cool. If I was ever going to get anything graded, which I'm not because the prices have gone up so much, and I'm not real into that, that would be a good contender.
Yeah.
And then I got to Doug Menke.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw him.
I did, and I was mad at myself because I've got a couple of books of his somewhere too. Did he do Final Crisis?
I think so.
Yeah,
I would have to look that up. I don't remember.
Yeah, which, I mean, if he did, I got my copy of Final Crisis somewhere too.
But I had him sign my Batman the Man Who Laughs, which is a Brubaker book.
Yeah.
And I haven't read this in a long time. I remember loving this.
It's good,
I
I mean, it's a
this
good
a long
book.
time ago. But when I go to Planet Comic-Con and there's a big list of people that I recognize, I'll just get on my comic app and see what stuff I have by those artists or writers.
Yeah.
And then I'll stack up stuff. And so I had some failures. I missed a few that I brought books for and either didn't find or missed them, like Starlin.
Yeah.
So I'm not happy about that. But I did meet Bob Burchett, who did a lot of the Batman Adventures books.
Yeah.
And I had him sign this one in particular because I've always loved this cover.
That's a good
and
cover, yeah.
I'm a big Phantasm guy, and so it was exciting to get that. He signed that in silver, and that looks really cool.
Yeah.
And those were all my signature books. And then the only comic I bought at the con is also Simpsons related. I got a Bartman #1 that was the silly foil cover. And I've been wanting to get into these because I have a full set now of Radioactive Man.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to get into Bartman. And I read this in digital not too long ago. This is a great comic.
Right.
It's a super fun issue. And I'm glad to finally have a copy of that.
Yeah.
What signed stuff did you get?
So, of course, got my Dan Mora. I picked up a book. I usually make it a point to hit the indie tables too. This is a book called Mythpocalypse, which they told me the premise, and it's post-apocalyptic, like Mad Max style, just dystopian nightmare world, except with like fantasy characters. So there's like Minotaur biker gangs going around the wasteland.
Oh, that's fun.
And let's see, I did manage to get... So, Megan Huang is an artist I bought a commission from like a couple years ago. And I picked up one of her career own books, Ranger of the Divide. I don't know what it's about. It looked cool. But I was like, hey, I got a commission from you like 3 years ago. It was really great. And it's like, oh, which was it? Let me get my phone out, and I'm starting to go through. It's like, no, it's an email somewhere too. And that con Wi-Fi isn't great. So I'm standing there like a moron, like, yeah, no, it was really good. And she's being very polite, just like, I mean, I lose track sometimes of commissions, and I do care about every commission I make. So, point is, this book looks cool. I didn't get like a whole lot of books signed. I didn't make most of what I bought were prints. One of the big signatures I did get was from Grant Kirkhope, who did the music for like every rare N64 game that you know about, like GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. He did the Donkey Kong rap. He did his coconut gun. It fires in spurts. So that was somebody who I managed to catch like 5 minutes before he... Oh, hey, what's up? That was somebody who I managed to catch like 5 minutes before he had to go leave to catch a flight. So, like, I'm in line, his handler comes out and says, like, okay, he's got to leave in 5 minutes. I've got my phone open and I'm ready to take a photo. It's like, no, we're good. Let's go. I want this one. And he asked me, I say, like, yeah, I love the Perfect Dark soundtrack. I listen all the time. And goes, great. What's your favorite track? And I forget every song I've ever heard on any video game ever. And like,
Chris.
I like the intro. And he goes, that's great. I like Chicago Stealth. Now let's get this picture. So, yeah, so that's mostly what I got.
Your line should just be, "I'm not good at famous people."
I'm not good at famous people.
That's what you should say when that happens.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
it's easy for your mind to go blank sometimes.
It is, yeah, especially when the guy you're talking to has like 2 minutes until he has to fly overseas, until he has to go to another country.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nice though, because again, like, that is a soundtrack I really like, a game I really love. And of course, like, he did that really cool GoldenEye pause menu music, that remix of the Bond theme that is just amazing. And of course, his coconut gun. It does in fact fire in spurts.
He would have been cool to meet. I just had so many other people I had to do.
Yeah.
And you're limited on cash. And I don't want to go to a con and blow all my money on signed stuff.
Right.
I'm not even as big of a signature guy as I used to be.
Yeah.
This particular con, there were enough people that I wasn't sure I'd see again. That I kind of
there were a lot of first timers there too.
Yeah, I made an exception. I went, okay, I guess I'm doing more signatures this time.
Right.
I will say, Jason and I have been I think I mentioned this last night. Jason and I have been getting Mighty Morphin actors signatures forever, and we have a picture with the original 5 suits, and I mean, like, it's a Sentai picture.
Right.
But we've got everybody that's still living except for 3.
Right.
And one of them, Karen Ashley, was at that con, but I couldn't find her.
Yeah.
And it turns out that they threw her with the voice actors.
Really?
And I never saw that section. I don't know where at the con I have no idea in that building where that was. I wonder if it was even in the big room, if it was some other weird place they put it.
Yeah.
I never saw her.
Because it was weird because they had, like...
She shows up to a million cons. I'll find her at some point. But that was it. Because that is the second time now.
I think she was with...
that I was at a con that I could have got her autograph. The first time I forgot that picture, and the second time I couldn't find her.
She was next to Kirkhope, I think. If I remember correctly, like, they had a corner there with, like, the guy who voiced Robin and, like, a couple of other folks.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah.
No, I knew he was there, but I never saw that
It was
section.
in, like, a weird corner, too. Oh, by the way, apparently Kirkhope got death threats for the DK rap.
I don't know. I never heard that.
Like, why? Somebody was real mad about their coconut gun. They got a real gun instead. This gun does not fire in spurts.
That escalated.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was... If I remember correctly, it was this tiny table that was it was behind, like, the lightsabers.
Oh, weird.
It was...
Okay.
Because, yeah, like, I know...
that explains it.
Every so often, you could tell that they run out of space in, like, Celebrity Row. Because you'll be walking past, like, the T-shirt tower. You'll be walking past, the lightsaber booth. And you'll find, like, the guy that played Eddie Munster.
Right.
And you'll find, like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there one year. For those of you who know who that is. I know there's not a whole lot of wrestling contingents folks here. But yeah, so it's weird placement a lot of times too. And plus, like, Dan Mora, I think, just kind of, like, teleported. Because sometimes you'd walk by Artist Alley and he'd be there, and other times he wasn't.
Yeah, we had a hard time finding him.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other autograph that I was gonna get that I decided was just too pricey was Paul Dini, and it really sucks that I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I just could not justify the $70.
And that was something that I was warned about just on, like, the Planet Facebook group too.
Really?
Somebody posted.
I thought that was wild.
Yeah.
And, like, nothing against Paul Dini. I feel like that's kind of a strategy to not have to sign all day.
Yeah.
And I have, like, a crazy line where the big difference between Dini and Claremont is apparently Claremont wants the attention because he'll charge $15 and then he'll have a line out the door.
Well, Claremont will, like, read his books too. Like, you hand him an X-Men book.
We've talked about this, but I'm just saying that, like, he's charging a lot less than he would have to, and he's got this gigantic line, and Dini's got 4 people standing there because he's expensive.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So anyway, that kind of sucked that happened.
Right.
But anyway, we gotta get to the rest of the show. Other things I wanted to show real fast. Just real briefly because I did this on the show last night. But the big one for me was Jeffrey Combs. And I had him sign... Sorry, these nacelles always pop off. I had him sign my NX-01 Enterprise. These nacelles keep popping off. So that was really cool. He signed that in blue, which was his idea. I'm glad he thought to do that. And we talked about Enterprise. We talked about Dr. Mordred and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So that was fun. And then I got this... again, stuff I showed last night, but I got this big Red Ranger sword, which was super cool, and I got a really good price on that. I couldn't pass that up, and it's way too big for what it is, and I kind of love it for that. And then I said this year I wasn't going to buy prints, and then I did. Yeah. I got 2 prints because they were too good. One of them was this fantastic... I almost said spectacular, but then that would be weird with this. I got this fantastic Spider-Man 2099 that I just could not pass up. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put that. I have no space for prints anymore, but this will go someplace. And then I also got this great Joker Smilex ad.
That's great, yeah.
I just thought that was too perfect for what I've got down here. So, had to have that. And I think that's about everything, Chris.
Yeah.
I
got like a few
and then the two things I lost.
Yeah. I've got a few prints too. Like
did you?
A local artist, Silas Batten, did a couple Fallout prints from the serial. One of Tommy Wiseau just going, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa."
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I had to get that, and also one of Uncle Baby Billy from the Righteous Gemstones.
I don't know what that is.
I'll out short.
Sorry, what?
Sword have opinions.
That's fine. But anyway, what were you saying?
But yeah, no, just so I got a couple prints from there. Yeah, all things considered, I didn't buy as much from the con as I have like other years too.
Yeah.
Just because Saturday we actually got there a little bit later, more in the afternoon, just because it's a Saturday at con. And I'm not sure if any of you have seen the videos of Planet, where it shows the line that stretches like around the block that like loops around and loops back around, that they tried to stake as much as they could. And then like part of the time I even didn't really get to that many panels either. Like I went to the Supernatural panel because I had a lot of folks I know who really like Supernatural who asked me to go and take pictures of like Jared Padalecki. But they had John Rhys Davies there. John Rhys Davies is always a good time. But yeah, and we did also hang out with a couple friends in like the board game room too. Like Saturday, I know my girlfriend Jen, walking the con is not the most fun a lot of times, so she's like, yeah, you go have fun, I'm gonna hang out in the game room. So we had a couple friends who were there too that we ran into, and I had like a number of folks from like the Renfest who I got to see as well too, because they had like a booth there. They were handing out tickets for coupons for Kegs and Eggs, which is an adult Easter egg hunt, which means there's free beer. But yeah, so I mean, it was a lot of what I did was mostly just being really intentional about what I was getting to, and finding like I did go see Battle of the Tropes too, where they asked people, they had a couple writers on stage and they asked them like, okay, we're gonna give you a trope, we're gonna give this team a trope, fight over which is the best one.
No. Okay.
And what is, so it's like you had to defend the aliens all speak English versus two people, one horse.
Oh, that's funny. That was actually a question that came up with the Captain Logan show last night.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, anyway, that was my con experience.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Chris.
Yeah, I'm glad, yeah.
I'll never go to Saturday again.
Yeah, can't blame
I don't do that anymore.
Can't blame you there.
And there were people I wanted to see on Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
but I skipped it.
I was kind of surprised, too, they had a lot of the big names on Sunday, because that's when they did the Lord of the Rings panel, and that's when they did the Supernatural panel.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah.
The biggest names were Friday, Saturday, though.
Yeah.
Because that was Shatner, and that was
was
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, they had like a...
And I really wanted to do Sutherland, but
Yeah.
I wasn't going to pay to go Friday.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other big thing I did that people from last night know about already is, and I posted a picture on YouTube, so I think everybody knows about it already, but I got a selfie with Tom Welling.
Yeah.
And I told stories about that last night, and we've got to move on, but that was exciting to get to do. And yes, he's gigantically tall, and yes, I'm very short.
Yep.
Anyway, so moving right along, sorry not to rush you, Chris.
No, you're good. You're good.
We got to.
We got to.
But yeah, let's real briefly go through books coming tomorrow. Sorry, I'm getting tired already.
Yeah, you're good.
I got to get a second win.
We got to power through this
because we've got a lot to do tonight.
Yes.
But I don't know. Long story short, it was fun. I'm glad I went. I wish I hadn't brought that Carnage book. I really wish I'd left that at home.
Yeah.
But whatever. But like I was thinking, do you like never bring an expensive thing?
Right.
Because it's like, well, I'm only going to get cheap things signed.
Yeah.
Seems like an odd strategy.
A little bit, yeah.
I got my Days of Future Past book signed by Claremont a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And because it got back home, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah,
but if I'd lost it, I would have said, I shouldn't have brought that.
Just bring everything in like a suitcase with handcuffs on it, like it's a nuclear football.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or you pay someone to come with you, and their only job is to make sure you don't lose anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you have it written down, you have a signed contract that says if you lose any of my stuff, I punch you in the face.
Yes, that's fair.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
No litigation. They don't owe you money. You just get to sock them in the nose.
Just one
big,
swift blow.
Yep, and you get to post it as a YouTube short.
Yes.
And anyway,
exactly.
Moving right along, I've got a big week this week.
Okay, yeah.
And I had a decent amount last week, but then the week before I had 0 books in my pull.
Yeah,
it's really funny. I
bought, you were telling me about that too.
I bought the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover. That was the only new book I bought that week, and that wasn't even a pulled book.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I've got 5 or 6. We have. Why is this not showing up? I swear to God I set this up. And now it's black. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Batman 8 is tomorrow. I liked the last issue of Fractions Batman with Joker quite a bit. I've been real back and forth on that book, and I've had months where I've thought about dropping it, but I'm in for now.
Yeah.
Absolute Superman is tomorrow. I bought the last 3 or 4 issues now. I've been catching up on that book, and so I will probably stick with it, although I haven't read any of them past that first arc so far. I've just been snacking them the last couple of months, and then we've got that new Daredevil book by a writer that I don't know but have not heard great things about, Stephanie Phillips.
I've read some of her indies. I like her indie stuff more than I like a lot of her Marvel stuff.
From what I've heard, that does not sound like a good fit, but
well,
I don't know if I'll try, especially on a big week. I don't know if I'm going to try that.
Okay,
I've not read Daredevil for several runs.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to bother with it,
but yeah, a lot of people know her more for like her TikTok, where she actually does have a lot of advice on getting into comics, writing scripts. I mean, even if you don't like her as a writer, as a TikToker, which sounds like damn with false praise, but
I was gonna say you're not helping me here at all. Like that by itself makes me not want to try that book. But anyway, Batgirl 18 is tomorrow. That's a book I've been buying for covers. Poison Ivy is still going. Look at that.
Yeah.
JSA, Venom, Bizarro Year None. This is weird. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
This is Kevin Smith, and I will probably not try this.
Right.
Because you know it's not going to finish.
Yes.
Unless it's a one-shot, I think it's a mini, but I don't actually know for sure.
Wasn't, like, the only reason that Guardian Devil finished was because, like, Palmiotti basically threatened Kevin Smith.
I don't
basically yelled at him until he turned in, like, a finished script.
But yeah, I haven't liked anything I've read from him really for, like, 20 years.
Yeah.
And, he's had a couple okay things here and there, some that finished, some that didn't. I don't think he ever finished Widening Gyre, even.
I don't think so. No, he left us all with that bladder spasm.
Isn't that crazy? And then they had him on the Batman the 66 Green Hornet crossover, which was wordy as all get out. It was not great.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I read his...
I didn't need that.
I know his Green Hornet wasn't really, like, meant to be a comic. It was a script that they retrofitted.
That's what I was going to say is that's, like, the only really acclaimed thing he's done in a long time.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even, on his part, a comic in the first place.
Right.
Anyway, that Spider-Gwen cover's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Adventures of Superman Book of L is tomorrow if you're reading that. What else? Doctor Strange.
Wonder Man's back, everybody.
Wonder Man's back.
I mean, I've heard the show's good.
And I
haven't watched
I think they gender. Sorry, I think they re-swapped it because of the show.
Right.
I have heard good things about the show.
Yeah.
I may finally watch that at some point. I don't know if anybody cares. Deadpool April Fool's Day. All right.
Fool's Day.
Mad About DC, I was kind of curious about. I've got such a big week, I probably won't buy this.
Right.
But there hasn't been any Mad content in a real long time, and that magazine had a big association with comics, particularly DC stuff. So it's kind of neat that there's a bunch of veteran comic artists and writers that are coming in to do that. And that's the sort of like singular anthology book that I can get behind, because that's kind of what that was. I mean, that's more like a magazine, as opposed to things like Superman, Spider-Man, where you wish this was just a story, or better yet, a miniseries. But I digress. I'll talk about that later, but probably not as long as you would expect. Casey Jones finishes tomorrow, and so I will finish that out. I'm glad that, unlike Shredder, didn't turn out to be an ongoing.
Right.
Ninja Turtles, Godzilla's tomorrow. So I've just got so many books. And that, I think, is the end of that, maybe. Godzilla, Savage Sword of Conan. A bunch of number ones tomorrow. Captain Marvel, Dark Past. All right. Alien King Killer. Again, just a bunch of number ones. Ghost Machine, the official guidebook. That sounds helpful.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to buy that, but if I had a slow week, I probably would.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've been really appreciating all the Ghost Machine stuff. Look, it's right next to Speed Racer, which sort of looked like a Ghost Rider cover.
Bit, yeah.
And I'm very confused. Eternals 50th Anniversary Special. I don't think anybody's going to buy that, but there it is.
50 years, that's something.
Cruel Universe, which is the world we live in because of the state Marvel is in. Royals is a new book from Image tomorrow. Let's read the copy, Chris.
All right.
Twin brothers Paul and Castor have crafted the perfect poker hustle. This immediately sounds like an anime.
A little bit, yeah.
Using their uncanny telepathic connection, but they might have finally met their match when they risk it all against the leader of the Bloody Cox.
The Bloody Cox.
I said that out loud. I can't even believe that. The most ruthless criminal syndicate in Seoul. I'm sorry, Seoul. Derek Kirk Kim. I don't know who that. The Last Mermaid and Same Difference. And Jacob Perez. Tales of Ninja Turtles. Okay. I don't know this team.
I love how The Last Mermaid is capitalized. Is in all caps. Like, The Last Mermaid!
That's a big deal, apparently. Chris, I might not have read that copy if I'd known where it was going.
Exactly.
Anyway, so then we've got another new number one from Image. Kilroy is here. Okay, that title immediately makes me a little curious.
Yeah.
Partly just because I'm a big Styx guy.
Right.
But anyway, throughout history, Kilroy, a being of unknown origin and power, has been cursed to wander the earth, avenging the innocent and protecting the weak, always leaving his trademark signature, Kilroy was here. Is he going to be a robot or a cyborg? I'm wondering about that.
That's a good question.
To mark his presence, but what if his life has been a lie?
I'm Kilroy.
The war to end all wars is imminent. Which side will he choose? And then at some point he takes a mask off and you just find out he's Dennis DeYoung. Joe Pruitt and Dalibor Talajic. Hitmonkey, Deadpool. Again, a team I don't immediately really know.
Yeah.
That I'm actually kind of curious about, though.
I read a little bit. So it looks like the writer was on Viking Moon, which I read like the first issue of. I thought it was all right. It was exactly what it promised you. It's like, this is Vikings versus werewolves. Like, all right, that's it. You delivered.
Okay. I mean, that's cool.
I do have Mr. Roboto stuck in my head now.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
You will the rest of the night now as well. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway. Sorry, my browser's running slow all of a sudden. This Nightmare Before Christmas cover is great.
Yeah.
Shiver of Christmas Town #4. I didn't even know this was going. That's Dynamite. I don't know. I don't know how I didn't know about that.
Well, it's funny because these Disney books are all Dynamite, and like,
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like there's another company that you can do that with.
Yeah, and another company that doesn't have a lot going on anyone cares about. It would be so weird if Marvel was making all of its money from Disney cartoon comics.
Right.
And that's not to say that that's making Dynamite a fortune or anything. It probably isn't. But they tend to be well-liked enough. And like the Gargoyles comics, we're always hearing good things about.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of, here's Gargoyles Darkwing Duck. That's fun. Lion King #3 is tomorrow. Those covers have been great.
Yeah.
I thought about getting that when it came out, and I was buying so much I decided against it. But I've appreciated the covers.
Gru's back.
And that's all the major stuff it looks like. Yeah, Gru's back. Weird.
Yeah. There's an
Oh yeah, that's a new #1. So a lot of #1s tomorrow. No new stuff I'm gonna start tomorrow, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I finally have some minis that are ending,
right?
And I've added enough to my pull recently that I feel like I need to slow down and probably not get a bunch of new stuff. DC's had some of its big launches the last few weeks, and I just have not cared about the titles, so I haven't tried them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Lobo's any good. I don't know if Batwoman's any good. It's just titles I don't care enough to buy. Deathstroke.
Yeah, the one thing with like Lobo too is that it's Scotty Young and I can't think of the artist's name. It's Jorge something. They did a book that I really like called "The Me You Love in the Dark."
Jimenez or somebody else?
It was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they've done like
there are a few Jorges in comics.
There are a few Jorges in comics. Yeah. I want to say it's like Jorge Corona or something like that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Scotty Young's just of like the two, he's the bigger name.
Well, obviously, yeah. He was at Planet this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, he's also another local guy too. Scotty Young.
Is he?
He is, yeah.
I mean, I knew he was Midwest. Is he Kansas City?
I think he's Kansas City. Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
He's at the comic shop up here too, every so often too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Like, I knew he came around a lot, but I didn't know he actually lived here.
Yeah.
Like a Jason Aaron or something. We have a lot of local talent.
We do, yeah.
It's like big names you've heard of, but
yeah, it's funny because like Kansas City is deceptively a big comics town.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of big names. There's also a ton of indie stuff going on, too.
St. Louis is also that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seriously considered bringing a book for Scotty Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Scotty Young guy.
Yeah.
But I own, like, a $200 variant.
Really?
Yeah. It's a... I can't remember if it's, like, a Gwenpool book or if it's... It's a Venom variant.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the like, what went in my pull box that month. Like, I didn't even go after it on purpose.
Yeah.
And then it has turned out to just like skyrocket and be an expensive book.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't bring it.
Yeah, I know.
Because I might have lost it.
Exactly, yeah.
like my Carnage.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah. It's funny because like I've heard Lobo is exactly what it needs to be.
It's Lobo.
It's Lobo just doing chaos.
Have you seen the Supergirl trailer yet?
I haven't watched the trailer yet. No, at least not the new one.
So what I'll tell you about that real fast, not to spoil too much.
Yeah.
Is I didn't expect Momoa to put on an accent.
Really?
He's doing like an alien accent in it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not crying foul on it or anything. I'm sure they'll win me over on it.
Yeah.
But what's odd about it to me is I'm looking at that and I'm going, Momoa's voice, like, not just his look, his voice is right for Lobo.
Yeah.
Like, all he has to do is talk. It's fine. Like, maybe go a little gruffer, maybe go a little lower, but I don't think he needs to put on an accent.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, you know what? It might not have even been his idea. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
But he might have been told or asked to do an accent so that they're not drawing direct comparison to his Aquaman.
Yeah, so he doesn't sound like Aquaman.
That's probably why they did that.
Yeah,
but I was a little surprised by that. He looks great.
Yeah.
And his bike is super cool. Like they got the bike. It's pretty much spitting image. It's got the big skull in the front. Like it's awesome.
Well, it's funny too because like Jason Momoa is perfect casting and like better casting for Lobo than like Aquaman too. Even though
obviously,
yeah, I mean it's fair. But I mean
I've been watching through Stargate Atlantis and I'm like, his normal voice would just be right for Lobo. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he is oddly, and I think this is part of why he got so famous.
Yeah.
He's oddly his regular speaking voice is kind of soft spoken.
Yeah.
And so there's this fun juxtaposition with just how like macho and gruff he looks.
Yeah.
And then how just kind of like flippant and does not give a crap his general natural demeanor is.
Yeah.
And Lobo's got to be more in your face than that.
Yes. Well, it's funny too because I know when like the New 52 hit, there was a note from like editorial how they didn't want him. They wanted to remove everything about his character that was biker.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want him to be an alien.
No, I know.
Biker.
We all know that that their version of Lobo was dumb.
Very dumb. Yeah. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you be like, hey, do Lobo, but not Lobo? Well,
I don't know. I've never understood that choice either.
Nah, neither, no.
Okay, I'm going to go through books I bought over the last few weeks, and I'm going to try to be as lickety-split as possible, Krez, because we've got other things to review, and because some of the stuff I read a couple of weeks ago, and some of the stuff I blew through right before the show.
Yes.
And so it's going to be kind of rapid fire tonight. Right. When Austin comes back on the show, he'll have more stuff to talk about because I lost him in the middle of a storm a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he'll just kind of catch up with whatever the next number for stuff is.
Right.
But he was going to talk about Dork. We've not had a Dork review. I didn't read it. Have you read it?
I powered through it like right before we started.
Oh, talk about it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's,
Is that a fourth printing?
It is a third printing.
It's a third printing.
It's a third printing.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically...
They are into 4 already.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I enjoyed it. It's a fun little fantasy book. I mean, it has a lot of tropes. It's super deceptively bloody, too. Dorkin is
It looks like a Scotty Young book.
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, it's got that feel to it, too. I mean, it's
very... Well, as soon as you show me that bloody page, I'm like, well, that's just I Hate Fairyland.
Exactly, yeah.
And the coloring?
The coloring?
It's a lot like that.
Even, like, the way, like, Dork is drawn, too. I mean, it does... A book it kind of reminds me of, even though the dynamic is flipped, is... I'm not sure if anybody here has been reading Blood and Thunder, which is about the bounty hunter.
What is that?
It's a sci-fi book. It's by Benio Sereno too. And because he's back in the game.
Yeah. You keep talking about him.
Yeah, but it's a book. It's a sci-fi book about a bounty hunter with a sentient gun, and the gun.
Oh, you have brought this
up. I have
before.
that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just forgot what the title was.
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
It's probably the third time I've asked you what that book is. Sorry about that.
But this one is the opposite, where as opposed to like a pacifist gun, it's a murderous shield.
Oh,
like a one-eyed shield that sees enemies like, all right, time to massacre them. So, I mean, it's a fun book. I'm not sure if I would pay $50 for it. But it also plays a lot of fun fantasy tropes. Like you've got the good kingdom and the evil kingdom, the light and the dark, and the hero is the one that unites the two tribes. They call it, the land of Sunder Rain. And you have the scar between them.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool book. They play a lot with fantasy tropes. Like, you've got the pits of purgatory, the prairie of the damned, that's actually Trail of Trials.
So, what I've heard is that book kind of organically started going up in value just because the word of mouth in the first issue was so good.
Yeah.
And then people were more down on the second issue. And so I don't know if it's going to ultimately be a popular series.
Right.
And I don't know if that first issue will go down in value very quickly.
Yeah.
If people drop off of it real quick and decide they don't care about it. Right now, that book is famous only because of how expensive it is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And what kind of sucks is the way it's artificially affecting the speculation market right now. Because it of itself, again, that happened kind of naturally.
It did, yeah.
And now people are looking for books to try to force that to happen with.
Yeah, and it's funny.
And this all has happened inside of a month.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, too, because I asked, I went to my shop, I asked the
whole world in comics changed over this.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Like, I asked, my shop, I was like, hey, what is this? And they were just like, this is speculators. It's a new thing. It's a new property. People got excited,
That's oversimplified, though, because with that book in particular, it wasn't happening before it came out.
Right.
So it's it's kind of speculation.
Right.
It's just the word of mouth was good. It's like
Yeah.
it's like everybody was talking about how great that first issue was.
Yeah.
And I like on the but it's weird because it was happening like on the first day.
Yeah.
And so like again, it's complicated. It is speculation, but it's more organic speculation than people that are looking at a book before it's even come out. Like we found out about that the day before it came out. No one was talking about it.
Right, yeah. Like, we saw it. We did our thing where we go through, like, here are the books that come out tomorrow. And we're like, what's up with Dork?
Yeah. It almost makes... I don't mean to be cynical, and I don't think this happened.
Right.
But when this happened, the first thought I had was some crazy person hearing that people were liking that book on the first day...
Yeah.
Put it up on eBay for $40 and somebody bought it, and then people looked at sold listings. And all of a sudden that's the standard.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what happened with that.
Right.
But crazier things have happened.
And there's other, like, people have talked about how maybe there's like a movie deal already or something like that the artist had some connections. I know the artist is doing the Dungeon Crawler Carl comics, like the adaptations, the art for that too. But again, it just...
Well, usually that's what it is, where people think that it's going to get optioned. But we're not in a world where superhero and comic adaptations are lighting the world on fire like they were.
Yeah. I mean, you had...
And so, the Walking Dead craze, that whole thing is kind of done.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's weird because, again, you had, like, Walking Dead's winded down, MCU's winded down. Like, I told myself, okay, today's the day I'm going to finish watching Brave New World, and I did not.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm good.
Well, so when I said Walking Dead, what I meant was, I'm not even talking about specifically that property.
But like, indie comics too.
The point I'm making is, the days of buy a book right when it comes out because it might get optioned to become the next The Boys.
Yes.
Those days are kind of behind us because of at least so far, because it's impossible to guess where it'll happen, and it's so rare now. Because what happens is, or what has happened is, we tried it with 1,000 things and they all flopped.
Yeah.
Except for like a couple, right?
Right.
So you had like Why the Last Man. Everybody hated.
Like an episode.
Did not last very long. We keep doing it with stuff.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Vaughn. It happened with that and Paper Girls.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my God, Amazon did Paper Girls.
Yeah.
I guarantee you not one person in our audience has seen that show. Like,
I've started watching. I have actually
it.
started watching Paper
Did you
Girls.
really?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Was it bad?
No, actually, not too bad.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as like, I mean,
because Y was bad.
I didn't even like.
I thought the pilot was okay.
Yeah.
It jumped the shark very quickly.
Y was like a
Just take it off the page.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you monkeying with it?
Like, Y was a book that I read. I need to actually read the whole thing, but the show just sort of like passed me right by. I thought, oh, that'd be cool. Nothing. Like, I didn't even notice it.
And the thing with Y is, even if it had been brilliant, I don't know that the same thing wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I think it might have. It also happened to be really bad.
Yeah. The Preacher series broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because, like, there were parts of that show I really liked.
I saw the pilot. I've not watched it since then.
A lot of the cast...
And I'm not a Preacher guy.
Yeah.
But...
Playing Comic-Con story, I got to tell Garth Ennis, like, hey, got my copy of Preacher Signs. Like, just so you know, this book got me through Catholic school.
When was Ennis at Planet? I didn't even know that.
A couple of years ago, like, first year after COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
So, like, 22, maybe?
22, 23, maybe.
Okay. Crazy.
I was still at the Red Fest, too, when that happened. Because, we had a table up there. I snuck away because, like, this is it. This is the one. I got my copy of
I'm
Preacher.
sure Vince went and got a Punisher sign.
Because I had my copy of Welcome Back, Frank, too.
Did you?
So, yeah. I was like, how much are you charging for signatures? And he was like, okay, first was free, like $5 for the second one. I was like, great.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That's
was
cool.
wildly reasonable compared to, like, Dini. And this was like...
Well, and Ennis is a guy, and again, no disrespect to Dini, I just... Yeah. If I wasn't getting anything else that weekend, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't feel great about not doing it.
Right.
Senior Six or somebody earlier made it sound like he thought, like Dini's a big enough deal, you should have done it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I already had spent like $100 on it.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, you got a budget when you're there too, and like there's already a point too where I had to like.
And I already bought that sketch cover. I didn't know Dini was charging that until like 2-3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
When I finally got around to him.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing too. Comic-Con, you got budget, and I had like a couple of big expenses this week too. So, but yeah, and this was, I'm trying to think, Ennis was there like right when The Boys hit.
What I was going to say, real quick about Ennis is he's connected enough to TV stuff. He easily could have charged more.
Oh yeah,
like
exactly.
he's one of those guys.
Yeah, and like The Boys, it's funny because I do know that Preacher, that series ended earlier than they expected because of some contract issue because they wanted to make The Boys. And The Boys
Interesting.
And The Boys blew up the way it did. Like,
yeah, I'm shocked Dennis wasn't charging more.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean there were Homelander cosplayers there. There were like the Deep cosplayers there too, which is funny. And it's funny because, like, Homelander cosplayers will show up in, like, the weirdest places. Like, I went to see, like, WWE Raw, and a guy showed up as Homelander.
Weird.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a Cody Rhodes fan, I
That's
guess.
not that surprising.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of crossover with wrestling fans in that show.
Yeah. And, like, with comic fans in general, too. Mm-hmm. I've been following this book, and this book is amazing, just so you know.
Talking about them.
Well, this is also the issue where they actually do the wrestle heist, too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we get to the point where they're like, all right, we're going to rob the promoter now. And, again, just the names of the characters, the fact that, like, the main henchman for the evil, wrestling promoter is named the alpha male Guy Grudges is kind of amazing. So, and actually, the only other book I really got.
He has a different sense of humor than mine.
A little bit, yeah.
It's fine.
And by the way, I think I saw Austin pop up in the chat there. I bought this, man. You're alive and well here. Godzilla versus Portland.
Yeah, so we were talking about how they brought that back.
Yeah.
And they're going to do another stint of Godzilla versus places in... Well, I was going to say in the country, but I think they're even going outside of that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, too, how...
that cover's great.
It is a great cover, yeah. Well,
me not being a big Godzilla guy, I didn't feel the need to buy anything but the Kansas City one.
Yeah.
But those have been neat.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
I mean, I've been to Portland. I've got friends who live in Portland too. Like, I sent a friend Amber.
Well, that's where Connor is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got his.
Yeah. So, it's a city I've been to. It's a city I've enjoyed my time there. So Okay,
I made it sound like Connor deserves to get punched in the face. I'm sure he got his. I'm sure he got a copy of that.
Yeah.
Don't punch Connor in the face, guys.
Please don't.
Unless you hire him to make sure that your stuff doesn't get lost at a con, and he fails at that, and then you should punch him in the face, even if it's Connor.
At that point, it's contractual.
It's contractual.
He agreed to this.
He signed the thing.
He signed it, possibly with blood.
Okay, so I don't know how we got off on other things for the last 10 minutes when I was just about to start blowing through my stag.
Yes.
But I'm glad that you did. Did you have anything else
Nope,
you want to show?
I got through all my stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'll do my stuff real quick.
Now.
Did you read this?
I bought it.
You haven't read it yet?
I haven't read it yet.
You haven't read any of it yet?
I haven't read any of it yet.
Okay, well, this is Superman, Spider-Man. Which cover did you get?
I think I might have gotten that cover.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
This was my favorite of the variants. I wanted to... The A cover's good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get a cool variant cover.
Yeah.
I did not end up going with one that seemed to have nothing to do with the book like I did with Deadpool Batman.
Yeah.
Where I got that Huntress cover. I think it was Huntress and Psylocke. Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
But
anyway,
anyway,
about right.
Everybody's going to think I'm this giant Psylocke fan because I've been buying that new Psylocke book, and
Yeah.
I don't know all that much about Psylocke, but
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So this was a mixed bag at best, kind of a waste of time at worst.
Right.
After I finished this, and I'll talk about the main story and the vignettes here in a second. But I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this, Chris.
Yeah.
The main takeaway I had was they should just, if they're gonna handle these this way, where you get like a 12, 15 page, maybe it's a little longer than that, story, and then a bunch of really short, like 4-page stories, and almost all of it is just easy reference and fan service stuff, and let's take two kind of obvious characters to do easy contrast parallels with.
Yeah, Doc Ock, Brainiac. I didn't read that much.
It should just be a poster book.
Yes.
There's no reason this should have stories in it, because stories are not what you take away from this. And the only reason that I felt like this was remotely close to worth my $8 or $9 was some of the art, some of the spreads. A lot of this would make for cool. And I'll say most of it's really well drawn. By all these different teams. I'm not going to go through all the teams, but a lot of it would make for really good, pinups and posters.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only point to this. Wade's story was fine. He didn't break any sort of new ground or nothing. It was a real standard, let's have our DC character fight the Marvel villain and the Marvel character fight the DC villain. And I listened to a video that was talking about this compared to the original Superman Spider-Man story, which I've never really read cover to cover. And Doc Ock was in that book, and so it's odd that was the Spider-Man choice with the main story with this. It was fun to see him team up with Brainiac. I thought Wade, and I have been kind of down on Wade for the last decade or so. And not just because I don't like the way he talks to fans, because I don't, but I just don't. I wish he'd be classier about stuff. I don't care what his politics are. I wish he'd be classier with people. I'll get that out of the way right now. But I think his writing has really suffered in the last 10 years. I think he's lost his mojo a bit. He had great voices for all the characters here. I thought it was a fun enough time, but it was so by the numbers. And I would have even enjoyed a by the numbers story from him better if he'd been able to flesh everything out. And it was just a miniseries. It was like 4 issues of exactly what he did. But spread out would have been fine. The art, that is Jimenez. That art's great. The book's almost worth it just for pages like this. It's cool to have that. The highlight of this whole thing for me, and again, it's kind of bittersweet. You got things like, this is really well drawn. But are we earning Spider-Man once again having to lift a thing that's falling on top of him? Like, not really. That's just there because it's a famous...
Everyone knows when Spider-Man lifts the heavy thing.
What is that? Spider-Man Amazing 50 or whatever that issue is?
30-something.
30-something?
Yeah, because it's...
I'm forgetting now. But anyway,
it's the final chapter.
We do that all the time. There's even a reference about it where he's like, I've done this before! And I'm like, yeah, okay. The highlight, but it kind of sucks because I just want to see this as a whole book. Is we did it was a weird choice at first. We did a Superboy from Legion of Superheroes meets 2099.
Right.
And it's art and story by Murphy, Sean Murphy.
Right.
And I adore him, and I love White Knight. And I haven't read all of the sequel with 2099, but or not 2099 with Batman Beyond. But I don't know if you know about that. He did a whole thing with Batman Beyond.
I did.
And spoilers, but a couple pages in, Batman Beyond shows up, and I finally get but only 2 pages. Of 2099 and Batman Beyond.
Right.
And that's kind of the last thing I was expecting in the Superman Spider-Man book.
That
was really exciting, and to get to see it drawn by one of the best artists in the business now. I love Sean Murphy.
Right.
And so that was exciting, but it was entirely set up for then a story he's not going to tell. Like, it wasn't even he wraps the story too quickly. It was... The story just gets started and then it's done. Like, it was literally just a few pages of a book he didn't get to write.
Yeah.
It was very strange. And there was a lot of that in this. just stories that feel like the first few pages of something, and then you move on. You got Tom King and Jim Lee, kind of an odd pairing.
Yeah.
Doing a World's Finest story with Lois Lane and Mary Jane, and I watched a review that said their voices were interchangeable. I agree with that.
Yeah.
This felt like King just doing his date night issue from Batman again.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of with Lois and Catwoman, it's Lois and Mary Jane. Yeah. And like Superman and Spider-Man fighting a Sentinel. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I guess. We got to see that. But it was the dialogue was super cringy.
Right.
Because it was a whole lot of just reference after reference after reference.
Yeah, and that wears after a while.
And all this stuff just starts to feel like everything is so played out. Why are we even doing superhero comics?
Yeah.
Like why are we still doing comics about these characters anymore?
Yeah.
And then somebody will come in and tell a brilliant story you've never thought of before, and you'll go, okay, this stuff's not played out. It just feels like it much of the time. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And then we've got this story. I'm not going to go through all these, but I'll mention this one too. We've got Daniel Sampere and some writer just named Priest. I don't know who that is. Who is Priest?
Is it Christopher Priest? Is he just going by like
Christopher Priest? Just going by Priest?
He's like a which feels
I don't think
like
so.
Which feels like such a Christopher Priest move.
Maybe it is Christopher Priest.
Yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, we've got Superboy Prime going to black costume Superman. This is wonderfully well drawn, and a story that it at least sort of has a beginning, middle, and end, I guess. That taught me about what we're doing with this updated version of Superboy Prime now.
Yeah.
Did you know? Because I've not been reading the post KO stuff,
right?
Where like, although the first issue of Williamson's Superman. It's Joshua Williams on that book, right?
I think so, yeah.
After KO has already come out, and I've heard nice things about it.
Yeah.
I've thought about trying it, but I've just got so much on my pull.
Right.
Were you aware that Superboy Prime now is like a serious version of Gwenpool? Did you know this?
I did not.
Okay, Superboy Prime can prime punch his way into any universe through comics that he has in the real world in a long box. Like, he is a fourth wall breaking character now.
Right.
Who's from either our world or like a once removed real world where he is doing the Gwenpool thing where he goes to Black Costume Spider-Man and he mentions the issue number where that happens, like that he's in, and he talks about Secret Wars as a comic book. I don't know how to feel about that. That's what we're doing with that character.
I guess you gotta do something with him,
And he's played a little bit more villainous in this than it sounds like he's being played in that.
I knew he was back. I knew
book.
they were doing like Superboy Prime stuff. I didn't know that's the direction they were going.
Yeah, no, that's what they're doing with him now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to feel about that. It's very strange.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, not a big recommend for me, unless you just really want some cool art with those two characters. Yeah. I will say I appreciate over Deadpool that at least all the backups have something to do with both Superman and Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like, they're not all those characters, but they're Superman, like, adjacent characters and Spider-Man adjacent characters.
Yeah.
Now, we'll see if the Marvel one does the same thing.
Yes.
Because Spider-Man Superman comes out next month.
Right.
And I'm kind of expecting a repeat of it's interesting that of Deadpool Batman. It's interesting that this one came out first.
Right.
I wish they put the Marvel one out first, because if this ends up being the superior one between them, we're in for unfortunateness.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they'll surprise us this time.
We can hope.
I kind of doubt it. Okay, I'm going to blow through some stuff.
Right.
Ninja Turtle 16, we revealed last issue, I mentioned this before, that the big bad guy in this arc is actually Splinter come back.
Right.
and Splinter is targeting Casey Jones because he's supposed to kill the Turtles in the future,
right?
And the Turtles are forced to actually fight Splinter, and he is still the villain of this arc,
right?
Even though they came back together, and you thought maybe they would kind of reconcile.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Splinter is the full-on villain of the arc.
Okay, yeah.
It's so good. It's twisty. I have no idea where it's going. I'm really enjoying that still. We got the end of Power Rangers Turtles 3, which was not as bat stuff insane as the previous issue.
Yeah.
Remember I went page by page and I said, and then this crazy thing happened.
And everything just sounded amazing.
And then this crazy thing happened. My big takeaway from the ending of this is it will be very strange if they don't bring it back and do a 4, because we're at a really interesting status quo at the end of this. I don't think anybody will mind the spoiler. By the end of this, when we've defeated Zed and Zed and Shredder end up losing their morphers and they can't morph anymore.
Yeah.
And when the Rangers and the Turtles beat them at the end, this ends with a status quo where the Rangers and the Turtles look like they're just going to be a team forever.
Okay, yeah.
And they've blown up the command center.
Right.
You remember the big cliffhanger at the end of 4?
Yeah.
Was the Serpent Technodrome is blowing up the command center. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So guess where the two teams are at the end of this?
Are they like the sewers? Or are they going like the Turtles?
No, it's better than that.
Okay.
They're operating out of Rita's moon base.
Okay.
They steal it. They take it over.
All right.
Oh, and also, the coolest, like, actually kind of crazy thing, like we were getting in the last issue, that is in this, here, I'll show it to you, is, so you know how we were led to believe that Splinter was killed?
Yes.
It's funny, because in the main book, we also thought that happened, and he comes back as a bad guy. And he actually did die and then came back. In this, he did not die, but he becomes the White Ranger.
Right.
Well, they do the same thing with Zordon. So when the command center blows up, oh no, what happened to Zordon?
Yeah.
But they do another bait and switch where they go, well, Zordon's okay. He found a way, I don't know how he did this, he found a way to implant himself, or at least project himself, because who knows how the time warp thing works, into Krang's bodysuit. And so we have a Zordon like in the Boom comics that goes around in with his head on a suit, except it's Krang's bodysuit. And that's pretty freaking great.
If this book existed when I was like 8 years old, I would explode.
Your head would explode.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I would just be a stain on the carpet.
The other reason it will be very strange if they don't do a sequel to this, because like after 3, you don't figure we'll do more crossovers.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff they're kind of leaving hanging.
Right.
They also, for no reason I can think of except this is a sort of Power Rangers adjacent thing, you'd expect it in this at some point. They introduce Venus de Milo for no reason.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She just shows up.
Yeah.
And then they go, in like the second page, you see her.
Yeah.
And then she shows up to the turtles, and they're like, hey, look, it's a girl turtle. She doesn't fight or anything. And then you get to the end of the book, and she's just hanging out with them.
She's just there.
They have no conversation that brings her to the fold or anything. She's just there. It's very strange.
That's kind of amazing. If they had just like leaned into that, where she just like looks directly at the Raider, goes like, "I'm here too." If that was just it, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. But anyway, RJ Godzilla, that makes no sense. Superboy Prime is not a comedy character. Greg Goat, they're not making him a comedy character. Cap is just describing it poorly because he's not read it. I didn't say he was a comedy character. In fact, what I said was, did you know Superboy Prime is now a serious version of Gwenpool? That's what I said.
Superboy Prime is such like a weird...
I didn't say he was a comedy character.
Yeah.
I said he's breaking... I just... said what's in the book.
Yeah.
He breaks the fourth wall, and he's sort of like Gwenpool, a character in the real world that reads comics and then can go into them.
I feel like I need to read... like.
What am I missing?
I feel like I need to read that now just to see. just to make sense of it too, because like
Yeah.
Superboy Prime's like one of those like weird.
I'm just not
characters.
sure how it fits with what he was in Crisis and all of that.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes sense. Like,
I think,
and he's right. I've not read all this. I just read what's in Superman and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was like, I did not say he was a comedy character.
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny because he's been kind of like inching towards that, but he never quite went full Deadpool, Gwenpool. It was one of those like he was always kind of a
I compared it to Gwenpool because they're both characters that are from the real world that go in the comic universe.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to read that Superman run now, just to see how it makes sense, how it works.
I am too. Actually, yeah. And I'm hearing good things. But he's apparently just been killing it on that book all the way through.
Right.
Space Ghost 9, I couldn't find before the show. I thought I lost it, and then it was just like underneath something. So here it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, this series is always good.
Yep.
That is kind of an aftermath issue, but a shockingly exciting one.
Yeah.
After we've killed off the twins' grandfather, who was Mr. Negative, not Mr. Negative. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up everything because there's so much in my brain right now. Who's the Antimatter Man?
Right.
And Space Ghost is being chased because he is wanted for the murder of him. We think initially, and then there's a what's real, what's not kind of question with stuff. There's a character introduced at the end that's kind of exciting. So that's always good. Martian Manhunter continues to be trippy and insane.
Yep.
Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
John is finally about to be reunited again with the Martian by the end of this. This is one of the weirdest and trippiest issues, and I honestly don't fully know what's going on through it. And I know I've had this with this book. I kind of need to just go back and reread all of this together. This is an obnoxious thing to try to read month to month, but some of the best art in the whole series is in this issue, and I don't know how this guy pumps these out month to month. This looks like a thing that should take 6 months to draw. I mean, it's just absolutely preposterous.
Right.
But some wacky, disturbing stuff as usual with that. And then we've got Absolute Wonder Woman, where we finally reveal Zatanna's motivation and why she is going after Wonder Woman. And I thought she was a full-on villain in this. She kind of isn't. She's being more coerced by Veronica Cale, who is sort of the stand-in for Amanda Waller right now with the Suicide Squad. I always marvel at Wonder Woman's endless compassion in this. I'm trying to remember what it is. There's this really cool page where she's talking about her worldview about like how she sees humanity versus how the gods see humanity.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what exactly it was. I was really taken by a speech she gives.
I know there's a bit where Zatanna she
have you read this?
I haven't read it, but I know about the bit where she's got Zatanna in a chokehold, so she can't use her magic. So she signs a word backwards in ASL.
This is what it... Well, yeah, and she's speaking backwards constantly.
Yeah.
And honestly, that gets tedious for me, and I kind of skim over it. And you'd understand more what she was doing if you read it, but it's so tedious. Anyway, she has a speech about how... because she loses her arm in the previous issue.
Yeah.
And she has a speech about the importance of her having a vulnerability because she's basically, at least, compared to mortals, kind of unkillable.
Yeah.
And she talks about how it's difficult to, be humanity's savior if she can't understand them and appreciate their plight, and so she needs vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I really liked that whole thing.
Right.
But yeah, that book just always puts a really great smile on my face, and I appreciate that we're constantly reminding the audience how public she is now.
Yeah,
because she's the one superhero in that universe that is like beloved and seen as kind of a typical Superman type. And I was kind of forget about that. And you've got kind of that one token mention, like every other issue, where she's being kind of cheered on by the crowd, and you're like, oh yeah, she's Superman in this universe. And I appreciate that we're constantly being told about that. Hyde Street is another book that's kind of hard to keep up with month to month, and I kind of want to go back and reread everything up to this point. This is probably the most disturbing issue of this, and is somehow making the obnoxious scout kid even more sympathetic than he was before. And if you'll recall, when we reviewed the first trade, he has a back issue, a backstory issue, where you kind of see how he got to be where he is, and you come to appreciate him. And like all these characters have one of those eventually. This gives us more of that, but he's like witnessing his own birth in Hyde Street, and he's like yanked away from his mother, and it's horrifying, and it hurt my feelings, and I don't want to think about it. It's so screwed up. This is the start of the Butcher of Hyde Street, who has been kind of looming in the background, and we've been wondering what that character is going to be. He was on the board from the beginning. We were wondering what that was going to be like, and wondering if he was going to be like kind of the big bad of the book, and now it's looking like the scorekeeper is the real big bad, and he has his own like plans and maybe sort of machinations, but he might end up also being a somewhat sympathetic character at some point. I'm not sure yet. But he's a big question mark, and then there's this kind of big mystery with the cliffhanger at the end that's suggesting that Hyde Street itself is not what we think it is. And I don't know, the John's world building in this has always been amazing, and now I'm questioning everything. And it's fascinating. I love that book. So I made a mistake when I read Transformers and G.I. Joe 20. So I've not been buying G.I. Joe, but we finally are doing a full-on crossover with Transformers. So I went ahead and got this issue, and I'll get the next one, because I think we're doing like a 2-part crossover. I bought all my books for the last 3 weeks and didn't read all of them as they came out. So I forgot which book came out what week, and I was very curious about this. So I read G.I. Joe 20 before I read Transformers 30. Don't do that, because that gave away the big ending. This. And I will spoil it in case people are curious. So if you don't want to know, stop the stream for like 5 minutes. But first of all, this is, again, some of Mora's best work in this. We had that, like, all-action issue last issue. This is another big action-heavy issue. Except most of it is Optimus versus Alita 1, and she just kicks his ass all the way to all the way to the moon and back. Not literally. But it's wild. So they have had this ideological conflict going almost all the way back to the beginning, or at least like the second arc, where she sees him as disloyal to the Autobots because he won't go back to Cybertron and help win the war there, because he sees it as his responsibility to drive Megatron and the Decepticons off of Earth, because if it wasn't for the Transformers, we wouldn't have this war here, and he thinks that's that has to be his priority. And they both have a point, and I have a hard time deciding who I should side with. And the book, in a weird way, kind of chooses a side finally. Now, I will complain that I do feel like I've heard the same speech from Optimus about why he's staying on Earth like 4 times. And it's like clever recapping without looking like recapping. So they have the exact same conversation at the beginning of this they had at the end of last issue. And I'm like, guys, we've already done that. And it's not just showing you the same lines again. It's a new conversation, but it isn't. It's the same conversation. Anyway, they have this big knockdown, drag-out fight. and she says, Optimus, you don't deserve the matrix of leadership. I should be leading the Autobots. And she tries to rip it from him.
Oh, no.
And she basically goes kind of full Decepticon and says, I challenge you for leadership. And he says, that is not our way. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
And she does it anyway. And finally he stops the whole fight. And he says, like, Optimus gets ripped apart so much in this book. And he says, look, we'll let the Matrix decide.
Yeah.
And again, full spoilers for the end of this issue, but the Matrix picks her, and she becomes Alita Prime.
Okay.
And Optimus is no longer a Prime, and she even says I couldn't believe they did this.
Right.
By the end of this, she says, anyone that she turns the knife so hard.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't come with me back to Cybertron is no longer an Autobot. So she, as the leader of the Autobots, has not only taken Prime away from Optimus, but has decided he does not count as an Autobot anymore.
That's
and we've
harsh,
completely split the Autobots now.
Wow.
That can't be good for that
No,
fight.
yeah.
Good Lord. So, like, the drama in this is spectacular.
Right.
But the way she's acting... Do I buy that the Matrix would pick her?
Right.
I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
it feels very strange because it's like the book has chosen her side by saying the Matrix picks her. And yet she still doesn't feel in the right.
Right.
And I don't feel like that's personal opinion. I feel like the book is telling me both things.
Yeah,
the book
no,
is saying
exactly.
the Matrix picked her.
Right.
But I don't feel like the book is fully on her side.
No, yeah, and that feels
I don't know what to do with it.
There feels like there should be a twist. There feels like, oh, well, we
Yeah.
picked her just to bring out the, leadership qualities of or something, I don't know.
Since I decided to spoil that, I'll show it to you. But yeah, here she is as a Prime. It's awesome. But yeah, so like, as you might expect, like some Autobots go with her, most of them stay with Optimus, and that means that they are not officially considered by the ones on Cybertron,
Right.
to be Autobots.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy.
Right. Yeah.
This book is fun too. You get a really nice kind of paralleling between Optimus and Duke as leaders.
Yeah.
And you get like a definitive status quo for what G.I. Joe and the Transformers are going to be as allies moving forward.
Right.
Where they're going to feed each other information.
Yeah.
But they're not going to like full on fight each other's wars for them.
Yeah.
And Duke is a little skeptical of the Autobots as like not being full-on alien conquerors.
Right.
Where like he thinks he trusts Optimus, but it's a very trust but verify kind of situation.
Yeah.
Where he goes, if I find out that you are at all part of an invasion force, all bets are going to be off. That was a really great conversation. But so even if you haven't been reading G.I. Joe, but you're into the Transformers series, I would recommend picking that up.
Yeah.
I also think it's hilarious that they're introducing at least background with what is her name? Because I've been finally learning a little bit about G.I. Joe and getting slightly into this property lately, but I don't know the names super well yet.
Right.
But they bring up Jinx, who I don't think has been a big part of this book. And I'm like, of course, the issue that I pick up, that comes up.
Yeah.
Because she so far is my favorite G.I. Joe.
Right.
And so I thought that was great. They're doing the ninja stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along. The rest of my stuff I did not actually get to, but the last book that I read is absolutely Batman 18, which is just ultra involved. There's so many subplots happening, and I complained last issue about Snyder's use of I don't even think I can say well, some of it's non-linear.
Yeah.
Storytelling and the structure of this, where he keeps unceremoniously just jumping to an unrelated scene with no kind of like transition or anything.
Right.
And it's jarring.
Yeah.
And he won me over more on it in 18 because it's not a thing he's been doing a lot in his run. And I thought it was weird that just suddenly this arc he's structuring it like that.
Yeah.
All of the different subplots and like flashback scenes converge thematically at the end of the issue, and suddenly I understand why he's doing it.
Yeah.
And you get all these panels that are from all these different like subplots and time periods that don't seem to be talking to each other.
Right.
That are absolutely talking to each other at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is actually really sophisticated.
Yeah.
This is the problem with month-to-month comics.
Right.
But he took a big risk in doing that, because he almost lost me. I will say, somewhat of just a taste thing, I don't love that we're already doing Court of the Owls. I didn't spoil this as the big cliffhanger at the end of 17, but now that we're past it, that's what we're doing now. We reveal here... against spoilers, but I don't know how to talk about this book without mentioning it. That Martha Wayne used to be part of the Court of Owls.
Right.
And she's kind of going up against them here in kind of going to bat for Batman.
Right.
I was proud of that sentence.
Yeah.
Going to bat for Batman. And we discover that Gordon has figured out Bruce's secret, but his mother doesn't know it. And so she's going to bat for him, but doesn't know that it's him.
Right.
So that's kind of some classic, kind of Shakespearean drama.
Yeah. So...
mistaken identity stuff. Right. So I appreciate that. I was also more won over on how he's handling Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
And how she sees herself as a savior of Gotham, and I like the twist that he's got, or the take that he has on the idea of escalation.
Yeah.
That you get in Begins and Dark Knight.
Yes.
Where she's saying she's looking at Batman as an like unexpected or unknown element in nature, like you introduce an animal or a plant or something from one ecosystem and you put it in another ecosystem and it shakes everything up and it messes with stuff. And she sees Batman as that for Gotham.
Right.
And she sees herself as the same thing, and like it should be a positive thing.
Right.
But obviously the way she's going about it is twisted and insane.
Yeah.
And so Batman's got to fight her. The end of this, he has gone so full tilt crazy person.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it yet.
Right.
But we get Batman to a place where he doesn't full on say I'm not Bruce Wayne anymore, but he might as well do that.
Yeah.
Where he's basically saying he's taking the wrong lessons from his conversation and his fight with Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Where she's, in a weird way, almost winning the argument even though he doesn't join up with her.
Right.
And he says, well, I have to be, again, the escalation thing.
Yeah.
I have to be meaner and darker and more horrible. Not just intimidating and scary.
Yeah.
But, I have to fight fire with, way more fire.
Yeah.
And he does a thing in this that is way past the normal Batman line.
Oh.
And then the whole issue, I thought this was really effective.
Yeah.
It was a gut punch. The whole issue, Bruce this is one of the subplots, is going to his friends that are turning into Batman villains.
Yeah.
And trying to stay friends with them and make up with them.
Yeah.
And none of them will talk to him. And by the end of the issue, he's kind of done with all of them.
Yeah.
And you get the sense that this is the place where they're going to become, all of them probably full tilt Batman villains.
Yeah.
But that it's kind of going to be Batman that pushes them over the edge.
Yeah.
Where now I get the sense he's maybe going to antagonize them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's almost like Batman's becoming his own worst enemy,
right?
And could actually end up being way worse for Gotham than he has been, than good for it. So I don't know. Like it's good drama. It's still, you know, like excess and over the top and insane. I love the conversation he has with Gordon where he's surprised that, again, I spoiled this, but he's surprised that Gordon has figured out that he's Batman.
Yeah.
And he says, well, dude, you're 6'9" and 400 pounds.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people to choose from.
Yeah, exactly. You're 6'9", 420 pounds. I see you, Scott Snyder. I see you.
I thought that was kind of fun. Nicholas Bodo, I like that Ivy is much more sympathetic than the prior disturbing villains who fight for the corrupt system. Yeah, me too. I could see where she was coming from.
Get caught,
her backstory with her mother is really, really sad.
Yeah.
The identity thing we do with her, that's like the ship of Theseus thing, but with biology, is really sad. Where it's like, is she still herself when she's replaced so much of her body with other stuff? Right. And the only thing that's left is literally her heart.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the nose, but it's messed up, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for her in the first issue of this arc. I really liked her by the second one.
Sometimes you can bring it around too. I guess you gotta start somewhere.
If somehow that had all been one issue, I would have loved it from the start.
Yeah.
Or I would have liked it fine.
Right.
But I don't need the Court of the Owls already.
Yeah, I mean that
I get it, Snyder. It's your thing, but
still,
I get that he's been kind of intentionally rushing stuff.
Right.
You're 18 in, you've already done Court of the Owls.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, folks. I don't know about that. Okay, other stuff I bought but I haven't read yet. Iron Man 3. This issue will make or break whether I keep this on my pull.
Okay.
I'm liking it fine.
Yeah.
I need to be kind of wowed just because I've got so much on my pull right now. I'm not a giant Iron Man guy, but I'm liking that okay. Sonic 85. I've been buying this book for my kids, and we've got more of that character for Sage, that character from Sonic Frontiers.
Right.
I bought like I said, the last few issues of Absolute Superman, starting with 15, which is just a beautiful cover, and I partly bought this just because I had to have that cover.
Yeah.
I'm still buying Psylocke Ninja because of Elektra, and Psylocke's cool.
Yeah.
People are gonna think I'm just giant Psylocke. Shredder 6. I haven't read this yet. This is going to be the end of that arc, and that will make me decide whether I keep on this book, because apparently it's a monthly, and I thought that was just a mini-series.
Yeah.
And then back issues. Here are... Oh, yes. I have completed my... Batgirl collection, my Cassandra Cain collection. I did not realize I was only 2 down on it, and they have these at my shop. So 43 and 55, I now have this entire collection.
You did it.
So yay, I managed that. And then I bought some select issues just based on cool covers of Web of Spider-Man. This is a series that I collect but don't have probably more than a quarter of, if that. I do have a first issue, which is like a $40 or $50 book, I think. I think. Don't quote me on that. Web of Spider-Man 11. Look at that cover.
That's great.
Come on now.
Such a good cover.
Part of the reason that I collect this book is the early issues are all black costume.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. So I bought a few of these. This is 30. And then we have 38. Had to have this Hobgoblin cover. I love Hobgoblin, dude.
Yeah, I got a special place in my heart for Hobgoblin because of the cartoon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And he just always looks cool.
Yeah.
Here are those other Absolute Supermans. And then the last thing is a random Huntress issue. Because I buy Huntress sometimes.
Okay, hey, cool.
I think that's everything.
That's your pile.
That's my pile. Okay. Well, now it's... Let me just make sure there's nothing else I need to read here.
Yeah.
Nicholas Bodo's also thoughts on the designs of Absolute Penguin and Absolute Penguin and Absolute Penguin. I don't know that I've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen what they're doing with him yet. I kind of want to be surprised by it in the book when we get there. Because I don't think... Unless we've seen his full look already, and I'm just not thinking, and I'm just not remembering. I don't know that he looks like a penguin yet.
Does he?
Somebody remind me. I can't remember.
Does he show up in that first issue too? Is he part of the poker game or?
No, of course.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember.
After Bane,
right?
Those guys are all full on like kind of their villainous selves now.
Yeah.
But I just can't remember if we've gotten a good look of.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we have.
Yeah.
Maybe we have. Two-Face looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's go on now to cover of the week, Chris.
Yes.
Chris, give us our cover of the week theme song.
It's the cover of the week, I guess. Now, we read 2, actually.
I didn't say give us, like, the most timid possible theme song.
Please accept this if you can.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yes.
Nicholas Bodo, we have it on an upcoming cover. Okay, I've not seen it yet. Okay, so, no, you're right. I mean, we don't have 2 issues, but we have 2 stories.
Yes.
So tonight we're gonna do kind of an oddball one.
Right.
Again, my phone picks these. This is Pinky and the Brain number 3. Oh, pardon me.
Oh, we did 16 though. That's what popped up.
Oh, 16 popped up?
Yeah, 16 popped up.
Oh no, did it really?
It did, yeah.
I was looking at the wrong one. I thought it was 3. 3 is the one we should have read because 16 is a follow-up to 3.
Yeah.
So we read different issues.
Well, you know,
or did you read this?
I
but
read
you also read 16.
I just read 16,
and I just read 3.
So yeah.
Oh no!
Well, we could talk about a little bit. We could talk about what we read.
Dude,
too.
that's so funny.
Here's the thing: we can like go through. I could say like, yeah, this is what happens in 16.
So stay right there.
All right. This is us finding the book somewhere in a pile.
I can't believe that you read one of these, and I read the other one of these. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll talk about the one I read. Now, I only have art for the one I read.
Right.
Dude, I'm sorry, I looked at it wrong.
No,
I mean,
you're
they're
good.
really similar looking covers.
Yeah.
Obviously. And what I did was I just went back to the stream last time.
Yeah.
And looked at the cover, and I thought that's what had come up. I did not remember this correctly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I probably would have flipped it and said, let's just do this one since this was a sequel to it.
Yeah.
These are the only 2 issues I own of Pinky and the Brain, and their companion pieces. This one is I paid a little for it at the shop. This is like an $8 book. I don't know what it is with cartoon comics from the 90s, but they tend to be pricier than some other stuff.
Yeah.
Your average is like $7-10 on some of these.
Maybe it's like a rights issue or something too.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Just you got to pay Warner Brothers.
No, I'm just talking about for back issues.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying the value of them is typically a little higher than other stuff. This is true of Beavis and Butthead.
Right.
This is true of... I mean, like, I used to resell a lot.
Yeah.
And there were certain cartoon series that if you got them, it was exciting because they usually made bank.
Right.
So if you want to get heavy into collecting these, you're going to pay a little more. And remember, like, the Sonic the Hedgehog comics are like this. So I don't know what it is about that stuff. I don't know if the print runs were lower. I don't know if... my guess is it's a fandom thing where people don't tend to give them up as much.
I can see that too, yeah.
I don't know. But I was, and I'm sure this was the experience you had with 16. Tell me if it was.
Right.
I was very impressed with just how authentically an episode of this show this was.
Yes.
And there's no good reason that either of these stories had to be a comic book as opposed to an episode of the show.
Right.
But, like, the panel layouts are still good. It's still, like, good enough as a comic book.
Yeah, it's still got that level of craft.
But I had the same thing that I do with a lot of the Powerpuff Girls DC books, which is... Craig McCracken acted like by season 6 he was just out of ideas, and I'm like, well, this book has some great ones that should have been episodes.
Exactly.
Just go to that. And
yeah.
I'm looking at this and I'm going, why in the world did you make that crappy 3rd season? Why'd you make Pinky and the Brain and Elmira when you could have just adapted some of this?
I know, yeah. Like, I would love to see, like, the world where the Brain actually takes over the world, and in 16... Pinky was like the resistance fighter. So you had like old grizzled like resistance fighter Pinky. And it's like
that's great.
That's what I want. You know what? That is amazing.
Well, what they do in this first one?
Yeah.
So you got Verminator, you got Verminator 2. What's weird in they're doing a sequel to it.
Yeah.
is that this was already a perfect blend of parody of Terminator 1 and 2.
Yes, yes.
Because it's the Resistance fighters sending back the robot in the first place.
Yeah.
So you didn't have robots that ruled the future, and then like in Terminator 2, we get our hands on one and we reprogram it.
Yeah.
It's Pinky and the Brain are ruling the future, and humans that I guess are all forced to dress up like Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
That was in 16 too.
Well, it's fun that it was a that it was like actually in continuity with this.
Yeah.
And they had stuck to the bit.
Right.
But they send back a brain-looking Terminator.
Right.
And it's not the evil robots that do it.
Yeah.
But they're doing gags about both movies, and so they do a gag about the phone book.
Yeah.
Where the evil brain robot, who's really well drawn and is super cool design.
Yeah.
Look at him; it's great.
Yeah.
He's trying to. He's got his phone book,
right?
And he's trying to find Pinky in the Brain, but he's got all these other things in the phone book that are really close to Pinky in the Brain, but because of his accent, he can't pronounce it right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the parody is about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
More than it's actually about the Terminator himself.
Yeah.
And like all the obvious, or a lot of the obvious stuff is in there. Like there's an Ala Vista. It's odd that they didn't contrive a way to get Ala Vista Pinky in there. It was Brainy, and I'm like, Pinky's right there. I don't know why you didn't do that.
Exactly,
it's kind of odd. But it's pretty clever. It's pretty creative. I was surprised that there was no "I'll be back." I don't know if the second one did it.
I don't think so. No,
but this one didn't. Not that I noticed. But there's the gag about the phone book.
Yeah,
it's great. That's there. Like I said, a perfect blend of the two movies. They do this gag about time travel, where the brain realizes that the Terminator is a design that he came up with a long time ago.
They did that in 16
Did they talk about
where
that?
they were like, okay, the way we stop this is by making the design dumber.
Well, that's what we do here.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so when that's dumber, here what it is
right,
brain keeps changing in the specs
what
the weapons are.
Right.
And so the brain robot keeps having like crappier weapons, and he tries to pull out guns, but he just pulls out like canned cheese, and stuff like that. But what's weird about it, and I'm gonna nitpick this, it's cartoon logic.
Right.
It works fine in this context.
Yeah.
But what's weird about it is the brain robot, the Terminator, gets angry with Brain because he keeps changing things.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm getting very angry that you're changing all of my weapons. But if writing in the thing would change the future so that he has different weapons now, he would have always had them and known he had them.
Yeah.
So how is he understanding in the moment what is happening?
You know what it reminds me of? You know that scene in Looper? It reminds me of the cartoon version of the torture scene where, like, the guy's foot disappears as he's trying to drive a car, and like all of a sudden, he doesn't have a nose.
And then, like the TV show, there are 2 stories instead of 1.
Yeah.
And they're the same length. And again, you really just feel like you're watching the show.
Yeah.
And it has all the same hallmarks, like the formula's the same.
Yeah.
So both stories have are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes. Yeah.
Like all the beats that are supposed to be there are there. So like it understands the structure, it gets the formula, it gets the shtick. And it's got all the adults or all the jokes that like the adults would get, but would be over kids' heads.
Yeah.
It like perfectly replicates that experience.
16 had a bit where the brain like grabs Pinky by the mouth and just says, we can't make that joke. The Comics Code won't let us.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's cool because it's actually about comics.
Yeah.
And knows the medium it's in. This issue didn't really do anything like that.
The one thing I will say, too, is that design of the Terminator brain, the Verminator, you could do that on, a TV show with a budget.
That's a good point,
At least not to that level of detail. Too.
Well, and I would even argue that the second story that's in this issue, which again you didn't look at, and you'll have to tell me what the second story was in yours. This is so weird that this happened.
Exactly, yeah.
But but to your point, some of the stuff we do in the second story, I also don't know that you could have gotten away with censorship on television. It's funny because comics are censored too at this period with the Comics Code,
but like weirdly different ways.
But in different ways and not as stringently maybe.
Yes.
With especially certain things. So the second issue with this is a little more sexual than I think you could get away with. So what's odd about this issue is that the one kind of motif that both stories have, the one thing they have in common is dressing in drag and gender flipping.
Yeah.
They both do this. So
it's a time-honored Bugs Bunny tradition too. That's
a good point.
Yeah.
So the beginning of this issue has it has two women that are dressed up like Pinky and the Brain, and they're the people that send them back.
Right.
And so we do this kind of weird, what feels like gender flip Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Because they even open it with like, "What are we gonna do tonight?" Like they're acting like Pinky and the Brain. I think I think by law they have to. It's kind of funny. In the second story, we go. So Pinky and the Brain would often jump to different time periods. To give them more variety in the kinds of plans that Pinky and the Brain can come up with. And we go to Tudor England, and the Brain decides to get this, pretend to be a woman to try to woo the heart of one of the Henrys, like Henry VII or VIII or something. And his plan is Henry eats too much and is fat and in bad health. And if the Brain can get him to marry the Brain, then he can take over the kingdom when Henry dies. That's his plan.
That's...
And I don't have a lot to say about it. I didn't like it as well as the first story.
Right.
But this page where... So Pinky decides to help in making up the Brain because one of the gags with this is they cannot figure out how to make the Brain an attractive female. Because, just look at him.
Yeah.
And when he finally gets into a costume that like Pinky comes up with that he thinks makes him look more attractive, you get that classic Brain. Yes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was fun too. It's very ridiculous. But I thought it was weird that they had this. I sent it to you. They had this ad that is actually one of the covers of the books.
Yes. Yeah.
That's Pinky and the Brain again in drag.
Right.
Like stuffing their chests full of fan mail.
Right.
To try to look like they have large chests because they're trying to look like women.
Yeah.
And the Brain has a caption that says something along the lines of, "This is what it takes to sell comic books." And in the mid-90s, that's so funny.
It is, yeah.
Like the satire there is spot on, but it was so weird to have that ad in this issue.
Yeah.
Because they're doing that, but the Brain, I'll show it to you because I don't have it here, but the outfit that Brain puts him in is
kind of amazing.
Objectively looks more like conventionally attractive than what he does in this. Where this is the actual plot of the story.
And it's funny because I'm pretty sure I've seen that ad. I'm pretty sure I've seen... Oh, there was an ad for the Peter David Supergirl.
Yeah. Which I did recently. Yeah. But yeah, here it is. Here, I'll make this bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing you wouldn't do now. Isn't that great?
That is great, yeah.
Anyway. What was the second story in yours?
I'm pretty sure this might be the version I read, but I think it was just a continuation, because you had the Brain Terminator show up, and then you had like the Pinky one, and then there was like another one that was like made up of like liquid cheese.
Was it like a double story?
I think it was a double story.
Because Pinky and the Brain would sometimes have a whole half-hour show.
Yeah.
So their sequel was we'll do a double.
We'll do a double, and we'll have like a couple of different robots, and we'll have like and they did like the thing, like the parody of the ending of Terminator 2, where instead of lava, it was like a crock pot full of like nacho cheese.
I'm excited to read this. Oh yeah, it's one full story.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's gigantic.
I know, yeah.
Which is hilarious because the mice are so small that he's actually probably just person size.
Just person size, yeah. And they're working for the Narf.
Oh, you've been verminated.
Verminated.
What'd you think of this?
I enjoyed it. I think again, like, I think it stands as a comic, and I think it would have been a great episode. Again, like...
Were you a Pinky and the Brain guy?
I was, yeah.
Me too.
I had, like, the 90s kid pipeline where I went from, like, Tiny Toons to Animaniacs.
Oh, of course.
To Pinky and the Brain. So I was just right along that line.
And, the creator of all those shows was at Planet this weekend.
Yeah,
and I thought about getting his autograph, too.
Yeah, and...
But, again, I just didn't want to spend a ton on all of those because he was charging I think $35 maybe.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, like I said, you got a budget when you're there too. You just got budget.
I don't mean to sound cheap, but I could have spent $700 if I wanted.
No, for sure. I had like a point where I was like, okay, let me just check my accounts, and you have to like psych yourself up to look at how much money you got left.
Well, I don't charge. I don't use credit cards if I can help it when I go to cons. Like I just bring, and if I run out of cash, I'm done.
It's funny because I went to a table. It was crap. I can't think of the company that put out like Murder Podcast, Voyeur, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the company offhand, but like I had gotten cash specifically for a Comic-Con, like a little bit in my pocket. And I go up there and I was like, hey, this book is $5. I've got 20. Like, oh no, we're cashless. Like, okay. And then my tap doesn't work. So they're trying to like run my card. It's like, sucks. Look, man, I've got $20 in my hand. Do any of you have? And yeah,
you can't take my money.
Yeah, I know. And I will give eventually somebody just asks like, could somebody break a 20? And like, Leah Williams, the writer, pulls out her purse, like, here, I got you, don't worry.
Yeah.
So, that was the opposite problem you usually have at Comic-Con, where, like...
Oh, so they would take cash, but you had to have exact change.
Well, they couldn't take cash, but eventually they just, like, called a favor and said, look, can anybody break this? So...
Okay.
Yeah. They probably thought, like, yeah, this will be easier, but they didn't take into account Comic-Con Wi-Fi.
That's what I was going to say is I was at the booth where I bought where we bought those weapons.
Yeah.
We looked at when we first got there and we wanted to get stuff, but we wanted to walk the floor before we committed to anything.
Yeah.
Well, we came back to get weapons, and there were several people trying to buy things, and the Wi-Fi wasn't working right, and he couldn't use his card taker machine.
Yeah.
And then I walk up and I'm just handing him cash.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get what I needed. And it's like, bring cash to shows, guys. Like, and also take cash at shows.
Yeah, the table. Well, it's funny because like last year, Tim Seeley was a guest. And I bought like a book from him, but at first, card reader wasn't working. So he was like, hey, you know what? Just hit the ATM. You can come back. And I don't think he was like expecting me to actually come back and give him money. I think he was a little surprised, like, yeah, man, here's the $15 I promised you for this trade. He's like, all right, cool. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, man, take your fine. I'll autograph for you. You're good. It's like, thanks, Tim Seeley. You are showing a lot of trust to a rando at Comic-Con.
That's true.
Yeah.
RJ Godzilla Animaniacs went downhill after Pinky and the Brain left and got their own show. Something happened with Simpsons when Futurama got made, or the same thing happened. The writing staff probably got split between both shows.
Yeah. The Simpsons is a whole conversation on its own,
that's a whole... I don't know that that's as much of the issue with that.
Yeah.
It's weird that Pinky and the Brain had to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get, you're doing the same formula,
Right.
but whole showing like twice in most shows. So I kind of get why you wouldn't like take some of your best material and keep it in this other show.
Yeah.
But it might have been fun if Pinky and the Brain had in Animaniacs been allowed to just become recurring characters inside of the actual Animaniacs segments. That may have been the thing to do with that.
Right. I mean, I could kind of see the thinking behind it too, where it's like, all right, Pinky the Brain is its own thing now. It's spun off. If we have them on Animaniacs, they're not going to watch, like, some studio heads, like, they're not going to watch Pinky and the Brain, in their own show if they're already on Animaniacs.
Yeah.
I can see, like, the corporate,
Well, I don't even know how much of it's corporate and how much of it is just, you're going to run out of ideas.
Yes.
Or they're worried they will. But again, you look at these comics and it's like, some of it's just just having different blood. Working on stuff.
Right.
Okay, let's go now to, I'm sorry. Before we go to our last segment, we gotta shake the phone, don't we? We gotta figure out what our cover for next week's gonna be, Chris.
All right.
And again, I've got veto power in case we end up with something too recent or a trade.
Or something we would just rather not.
Exactly. All right, here we go. I'm going to shake it.
All right.
I'm going to shake it this time. Here we go, Chris. We've got... Okay, I'm not going to do this one because I've reviewed this sort of recently.
Okay.
This is in the middle of Funeral for a Friend. And 6 months ago, or maybe a year ago, Austin and I did that. So shaking again. Oh my God, right after Pinky and the Brain, we did end up with the Powerpuff Girls. This will be fun. Okay, so here is DC Powerpuff Girls number 4.
DC Powerpuff Girls number 4. DC Powerpuff Girls number 4.
Thanks, Chris. Chris is like, everyone's gonna get so bored.
Somebody in the comment was just like, that was more of a jingle, the theme song.
I saw that.
You're not wrong, but still.
You gotta love this airplane that's like bending as it's hitting Blossom in the face.
Yeah.
That's pretty wonderful. We'll see if this ends up being another Dan Slott issue.
Yeah, Dan Slott did a lot of like random cartoon comics.
He sure did, and he's at his best with that stuff.
Yeah, no,
and that's not knocking the man or like belittling him.
No,
like some people are not the most versatile and have their niche, and that's Dan Slott. He should have stayed in that lane. Because you go look at his 10 years on Spider-Man, and you can see it in his Spider-Man writing, where you're like, no, you're a quirky comedy guy.
Yeah.
That you should have stayed there.
Yeah. He wrote a Ren and Stimpy choose your own adventure comic.
Really?
He did. And here's the thing.
The Ren and Stimpy comics also bang.
Yeah, and here's like the thing too. That choose your own adventure comic, really good.
Really?
It has like one of my favorite gags where they're like, oh no, we're sucked into a time loop. At the bottom it says, it's at like page, 28. And the bottom says, go back to page 27. So you read page 27, get to 28, it says go back to 27.
That's great.
And the whole bit is they're caught in a time loop. Like, that's
really good.
Yeah. And like, that was a book that was so weirdly formative to little kid me. That's why I found out choose your own adventure books existed. So I went to like my school library. I was like, this is a thing. Got like every like R.A. Montgomery book I could get.
I haven't had a chance to get back to it, but did you know that I'm in the middle of writing one?
I did not know.
Yeah. I started one, I don't know, 6 months ago.
That's amazing. That's... I wrote like a short once, like a short choose your own short story once for like a workshop I did.
It'll probably take me 5 years to finish it.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't just get my nose to the grindstone, because it's going to be long. But I'm writing it like sort of young adult, like I'm writing it or kind of YA, like I'm writing it for my kids.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And so it's going to be relatively kid friendly.
Yeah.
But it's about a like gigantic library that you get sucked into by going into this like mysterious room in a house you just moved into.
Oh, nice.
And then you can open any book in this library and it sucks you into the world of that book.
Oh, wow.
And but the catch is you have to keep the book open. Like it's your key, like the book that gets you there. You have to keep your thumb in it or something.
Yeah.
Because if it closes, then you're trapped in that world.
Okay, so I'm already sold. Look, yeah, definitely.
It's fun. I gotta get back to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can remember what the hell I was doing. I haven't actually thought about that project in a while.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about a book that Chris picked. We're gonna do a very recent series. From Marvel that does not completely suck.
I know, right?
It's shocking.
Yeah.
And what'd you pick, Chris?
I picked the Immortal Thor.
The Immortal Thor. He's so mortal.
He's so mortal.
You won't even believe how mortal he is.
You will not. And you know what else you won't believe?
I'll need a minute to pull this up. For some reason, I don't have my my book open here. Sorry about that.
Very good. Not only is Thor mortal, but the folks he fights are pretty mortal too.
So far.
Yeah.
So far, that's clearly going to change.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got it here. Okay, Chris. So, how much of this had you read before we took a look at it for the show? Because you brought this up on camera a few times.
Yeah, this was a book I read. I picked up the first issue.
This is Al Ewing, by the way.
Al Ewing, yeah.
Art by who? Somebody I don't know. Ferry? Ferry and Hollingsworth. Anyway.
Yeah. This was a book I heard great things about. I picked up the first issue, and I think the second. And I know I've got issue 7 just on my to-read pile.
Okay.
Because that's how I roll. It's like, I'm sure I'll gap fill later, you know? But yeah, this was something I was wanting to read. It was something that I'd heard good things about. Al Ewing, I knew that he'd been on Thor for a while. I knew that a lot of his Thor stuff was pretty well regarded. And I know, I'd read the Roxxon Presents Thor, which that I really liked. And I think, a lot of times with Marvel, we talk about how it's a little too self-referential. It's a little bit too, haha, tongue-in-cheek. That was a book that I felt like did it the right way, because it was a comic within that universe put out by Roxxon as a propaganda comic.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
Roxxon's involved in this too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And part of that book too was that Thor was named something like Chad Hammer. And so yeah, it was so I liked the little bit I had read of Al Ewing's Thor.
Yeah.
And I'd heard great things about this, so when it was my turn to pick a book, it seemed like the natural fit.
All right, well, give us the basic premise of this.
So Thor does not exist in this world. The founding Avenger,
but basically everything else does.
Everything else
as far
does.
as I can tell.
He's been
so. Are we in a straight up alternate dimension in the multiverse, or what is this world?
I believe that this is a world where Thor has just been there's some reality manipulation somehow. I haven't read, the little bit I did read of Al Ewing's Thor, I hadn't read up to this point.
Is this connected to that?
Yes.
Because, because it reads like... we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
It reads like there's a big element that must have been introduced somewhere else, as opposed to just being a big reveal here.
Mm-hmm.
This idea of... I'm getting ahead of myself, but this idea of a future like son of Thor,
Yeah,
whose reality
Maggie.
doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah.
and like he's the only thing left from it, and it's a mystery as to how he's there, and
Yeah.
so he's not really the son of Thor because it's a different Thor, and the whole thing is real muddled.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, the premise of this,
right.
especially not reading it, because I didn't know this was connected to anything else until you just said that.
Yeah.
So especially not knowing that. So
Right.
this is not fair.
Yeah.
But in my defense,
Right.
I could see anybody coming into this as a cool alternate reality story,
Yeah.
expecting it to fully stand on its own.
Yeah.
So this criticism probably holds water still.
Yes.
To some degree anyway.
Yeah.
It's a real muddled premise.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like the initial appeal to this book, if I can just kind of get to the brass tacks of it,
right.
is lately we've been doing a lot of these, or like more and more of these kind of like more real world versions of comic characters,
Yeah.
and it's getting popular. Not quite to the same degree, but in a similar way as Old Man Whoever.
Yes.
So we're starting to get, we've done it with Batman a lot.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a lot more of these, not what if this character really existed in the real world, but a character that is sort of like this fictional fantasy character that is inspired by that character and decides to do what they do in some way.
Right.
This initially reads like that.
Yes.
Where it's a regular guy, and like the title of this is perfect for what I thought it was. Which is you have this Scandinavian guy, right?
Yeah.
Who is built like Thor. He's got Thor's hairstyle.
And a hammer.
And he doesn't speak the best English.
Yes.
And he is a construction worker like Absolute Batman.
Yes.
And he's built like Absolute Batman.
Right.
Let me a little smaller.
Yeah.
And he works with a hammer, and he is very altruistic.
Right.
Sort of. Like, he's...
Yeah.
He's sort of like Absolute Batman in this way as well, where he's got a lot of compassion for people
who are victimized.
Victimized people, innocent people. But he's got a little bit of a vengeance streak, right? So at first he seems like he has a lot of integrity. And then you see how, like, Watchmen level brutal he is.
Oh, yeah. Like, there are scenes where it's like, how are you doing this in a mainline Marvel book? Like, you are... This guy's jaw does not exist anymore.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
just a bloody mess now.
And so, I was immediately turned off, I have to say, to the idea that... I mean, I liked a lot about this.
Yes,
And the first issue, I think, is a real solid start.
Yeah.
I was immediately turned off to... We're still in a world with Avengers in it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that. I was like, this whole idea is cooler if it's just this guy that's kind of like Thor, that is maybe inspired by Thor. The idea of taking a hammer and wrapping it up with a bungee cord so that it'll come back to you when you throw it, but you're just a guy, is wonderful.
It is,
I was waiting for the place where he spins it around his head. Like, he's obviously not going to fly with it, but I was waiting for him to use it like a grappling hook, right?
Exactly,
like, he spins it like this, he throws it up, and he starts climbing with it.
Yeah.
I wanted that, so...
Well, that's part with the construction, site too, where you have like the beams and stuff. That would be the perfect point. That would be the perfect moment. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be an a-hole reviewer for a minute and do the wrong thing.
Yes.
And I'm gonna admit to this. I'm not worthy. Okay.
Gotta go for it.
You
can't pick a mold here.
I can't do it. I'm gonna do the incorrect reviewing thing. Right. I'm gonna rewrite this book.
Okay. Do it.
So where I thought it was going and what I really wanted it to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it can't still win me over.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm getting ahead of myself. We end up getting to actual Asgardian mythology in this. And we find out, because you think that's probably going to happen anyway, because because this mortal Thor has amnesia.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's going to turn out to really be Thor.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what we're doing. He's a future son of Thor that was sent. It's so convoluted.
It is, yeah.
But here's where I thought it was going,
right,
and what I wished it was doing.
Yeah.
It reads like Punisher Max.
I can see that.
Like, it really reads like Punisher
Oh,
Max.
yeah, especially with the level of murder in the book, too.
It's like kind of a more realistic interpretation outside of a world with all of the supernatural stuff.
Yes.
And he's got a vengeance streak to him. Of course, the Punisher always does.
Yeah.
But this is a Thor that has a little bit of Punisher in him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking at first that he's just kind of inspired by Thor. Mm. It's also weird how much just Thor lore is around him, and I thought that was very, very convenient.
Right.
Where, like, he's going up against a gang that patterns themselves off of Thor, but, like, learned all the wrong lessons from him.
Yeah.
And then he has a neighbor who paints Thor.
Oh, yeah, the Scandinavian heavy metal cover, too. It's like, I don't even know where I got this.
I'm trying to figure out why this whole world is obsessed with Thor.
Yeah.
That's weird. But anyway.
I will say, too, the one thing that I wish they had done...
That's gruesome.
It is. I know, right? That is max level. Yeah.
It's Thor Max is what it is. Until it isn't.
Yes.
But anyway, I'll get back to my rewriting of the thing. What
I was going to say, too, that the one thing they probably could have done is they could have held off until later to do... Because, it is jumping off of Al Ewing's Thor run, which I haven't read, like, the connective tissue, so I don't quite know how he became, Sigurd Jarlsson. But when you have, like, the supernatural elements that are this early in the book, they probably could have spaced that out better. They probably could have at least given it room to breathe.
And that's what I was going to say. So, based on what you just said, and we didn't even mention that that Ewing is kind of cleverly taking the old aliases of Thor and making characters out of them. Because the big bad guy in this is an evil Donald Blake.
It took me like
so weird.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. So the weird Jarlsson thing, which is like in the 300s. Mm-hmm. In Thor, where he just pretends to be a guy and he names himself that.
Well, that was
Ryan.
Yeah, that was a Simonson thing, wasn't it?
Oh, you know what? You're right. That was a Simonson thing.
Because that was and they even did that little bit where he just put on like a pair of glasses and bumps into essentially Clark Kent.
Yeah. When we actually get to the Asgardian stuff in issue 4, he apes Simonson like shockingly well. Like the voices he has for those characters and just the general sensibilities of it. I was transported back to that stuff and had a couple of flashes where I forgot I wasn't reading Simonson. I've never ever had that. And this was the last place I expected it because I thought what I was reading was like a real world guy who thinks he's Thor. So or who's patterned off of Thor. So like I both respected the writing and didn't want that all at the same time. So here's what I thought it was and what I wished it was. I thought it was a revenge thriller that would redeem the vengeance character and he would learn to be worthy. That's where I thought it was going. And if I was writing this, I would have, again, this is not fair. I didn't realize it was part of another arc, part of another run. It sounds like it's kind of like the Jason Aaron thing where like he already had a Thor run and now this is his like Jane Foster Mighty Thor.
A little bit,
I feel like that's kind of what this is. He's got his new guy that's going to be the new Thor. Like he's doing that whole thing.
Yeah, like a little bit too. My understanding is that this is part of his initial Thor run. This is like the next chapter of, all right, we did the story arc with Thor and now we're going to do just the next arc, but we're just going to do it in such a different way. We might as well just call it like a different book.
So exactly. So what I would do with this is not at all fair. Is I would have no supernatural. It's funny, no gods, no monsters. I wish. I would have no supernatural elements. Whatsoever. Until the very end,
Right.
where he finds Mjolnir.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with it.
Right. And
and then you go, oh, okay, he's worthy now.
Yeah.
And there is a hammer.
Yeah.
But he had to have like a Punisher Max like 12-issue arc before you get there, and then you never see him again.
Yeah.
That's all you do with it. This should be a completely out of continuity, Elseworldsy thing.
Yeah.
The fact that it's I can't even tell if it's 616, but the fact that it's in a 616-esque,
I believe it is,
kind of world.
Yeah, at least the impression I got was that it's 616, but like reality's been, manipulated, that they put, Better Ray Bill founded the Avengers.
Okay, so we're doing that whole thing again.
You're doing that thing,
It's sort of like when we manipulated history so that Steve Rogers was part of Hydra.
Yeah,
We're doing that whole thing. Okay.
So, that's... I will...
I don't mean to sound crazy down on this. The writing is great. The characterization's one. I like this guy.
Right, yeah.
And I'm also getting why he's bashing people in the face with his hammer.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
Yes.
But I'm frustrated with it conceptually.
That's entirely
fair. Do you have this?
I didn't really have that because I went in knowing that it was
You were armed with more knowledge.
Yes, I was armed with more knowledge too. And I mean, I think it's but here's the thing too, that this is essentially its own book. It's something that theoretically a new reader could jump onto. And that's something
unless you're me and you get really frustrated by it because by issue 4 you go, oh wait, I'm missing something.
And that's the thing too, that
so I don't actually agree with you that it really works for new readers.
Oh no,
entirely.
I wasn't necessarily saying it worked. It's something that theoretically should work, and how it holds
it's going to appeal as much or more to people that are not aware that Ewing even had a run.
Exactly, yeah. So if it can't hold that new reader who's like, hey, there's a new Thor book that seems like it's not bogged down with continuity, that's its own issue. That's something that, if you're coming in fresh, it probably won't work as well.
You know what else it feels like?
Yeah.
Now that I know that he had a run before that,
it
feels like he's aping Hickman a little bit, particularly with that 4th issue, because that's an old Hickman chestnut.
Yeah.
Where you'll be hip deep in the middle of a run, and then suddenly you'll interrupt it with an issue that seems completely unrelated. That then turns out to really be related, and so Ewing is seeing this as like his big Thor opus.
Yeah.
And I thought it was this smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of character focused book.
Yeah. So,
and then I find out that there's all these reality changing shenanigans, and I'm like, that's not what I signed up for with that.
Yeah, and that's something that when you're doing a book like this, you have to keep in mind. You have to know
this is such a cool idea.
I know, right? Yeah, so that's something you do have to keep in mind. You're like, all right, this is a book that somebody who might not even know that much about Thor and might not have read any Thor previous to this might have seen and thought like, okay, this seems like a cool idea. You have to keep that in mind. And so yeah, if it loses readers who go in expecting something different,
because I think more people would like I did be curious about this, because I mean I had to read it because you picked it.
Yeah.
but I would be more curious about this as an alternate version of a thing, as opposed to an introduction to a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And
certainly, I mean, like I said, Absolute earlier. It's kind of like that.
It is kind of like Absolute. Yeah. So I think it just kind of depends. I think it just kind of depends. If there is like a big failing, it's just that you need that little backlog. You need that history. You need to know what you're getting into. And if you're coming in completely fresh, it might not work as well too, because again, you're expecting like Punisher Max. You're expecting, this really tiny. I mean, what was the one book that was, what was like the Superman one where he was just like a guy in like actual Kansas? I'm blanking on.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah.
I mean, there's been like books like that too, where it's the smaller stories.
See, I thought that's what this was. Okay, so I just thought of this.
Yeah.
If it has to be, like, let's say it has to be straight up 616.
Yes.
and you want to have your cake and eat it too, and basically have the same idea where it's like just a guy who's inspired by Thor, but it's actually in. You don't get rid of all the amnesia.
Yeah.
It's actually in the Marvel universe, and he's inspired by the actual Thor.
Yeah.
You know how you do it. This is the perfect time to do this.
Yeah.
As dumb as I think the way they've handled Ultimate is. Yes. Let's get outside of Absolute. Let's go to Ultimate, okay?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think I do.
Okay, what you do is you have this guy that's just inspired by Thor, and he's like, I'm not a god, but I believe in the way Thor like handles things and his ideology.
Yeah.
Or I should say, sorry, it's getting late.
Yeah.
I like his value system.
Yeah.
And again, he maybe gets away from that too much because he's hitting people in the face with his hammer, and he realizes, I've got to reel that in. That's not actually Thor's way, right?
Yeah.
And he learns all of that, and then the very end of it, it isn't that he picks up the hammer; it's that he finds one of those stupid origin boxes. that's how you do it right now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Here, it's funny, too, because it took me a minute. It took me embarrassingly long to realize that was supposed to be Donald Blake. And it took me, it's like, okay, who's Blake? Who's this original character? And when I realized, it's like, oh, that's what they're doing. And another thing, too, is that in later, at least by issue 7, the Serpent Society shows up.
Yes.
So... yeah, I mean, I guess...
Well, didn't you already have them earlier?
I guess that's who they're supposed to be.
I thought that's who they were supposed to be.
But, like, actual, like, Cottonmouth and Sidewinder, too.
Really?
Like,
okay.
Sure. The Captain America Groonies era.
You've got a character that turns out to be Loki. It was such a weird experience because...
Yeah.
You get this guy that seems like a stand-in for Loki, where it's like, and then Thor's also palling around with this chick that seems like a stand-in for Sif.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the guy that's like Loki is just Loki.
Just Loki, yeah.
And again, if you were going to make this just a guy,
yeah,
you'd have him palling around with characters that are stand-ins for Thor characters. And then it turns out that guy's just Loki.
He's just Loki.
I've never read anything quite like this. It's awkward.
Yeah, because like I think a lot of,
but like it makes sense, I guess. Like I understand what's happening.
Yeah, here it is weird because I think the one big flaw is that they bring in a lot of the supernatural elements too quickly, and do reveal them, and they kind of rush a lot of the big reveals. Like, no,
well, and I think he gets lost in it.
Yeah.
Like, I think you lose your protagonist pretty quickly.
Right. And, by that, the Magni issue, it's not even about him now anymore, too.
Yeah.
So...
That's what I wasn't caring for.
Yeah, I mean,
But, like, I really like the way he's writing...
Yeah.
Odin... And like the conversation with Odin and Loki in the coffee house is good.
Yeah.
This is really competently done.
Yeah, I mean
I don't think I like the more we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I still think I like the approach. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends.
But you've read past this, and it sounds like
I haven't read past this. I just have like issue 7 that I've thumbed through.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, exactly. But
you're such a thumb through kind of person.
I'm such a thumb through.
You thumb through her.
I thumb through her. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, look, I got a pile of books. Let me just see a little bit. Let me get that taste.
Look, I paid for this. I should probably
do something with it.
Do something with it.
And I think it kind of. I think whether or not you really enjoy the book, I mean, I think just overall it's a good read, but I think it really just depends if you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And if you're expecting in Elseworlds, basically.
No, I would have a totally different experience with this if I had read any of his art.
Yeah.
Or his run, I should say.
Because, like, the little bits I have read, like, Roxxon was kind of the, the big bad of the series.
These covers.
Oh, yeah, I know. Alex Ross has been doing, like, career work with some of the covers here recently.
It's crazy. How old does he have to be now?
That's
if Ross isn't in his 70s or pushing 70, I would be shocked. I mean, think about, like, how old was he when he was doing all those 90s covers?
That's a good
question.
question.
It was 30 years ago, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know his first comics work was, like, the Dark Horse Terminator books.
Really?
If I remember, like, that was his first ever, like, comics gig. And, then from there he's doing, like, Marvel's, like, Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
But, odd little trivia about Alex Ross's,
56? How?
He must have been a baby when he did Kingdom Come.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 24 when he drew Marvels.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That is.
Well, what's cool about that is we could have 30 or 40 more years of Alex Ross.
I know,
covers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 50? Are you serious?
Alex Ross, take care of yourself, please. Get healthy. Go start jogging.
Actually, I gotta be honest, my mind is blown by that. And some people might think I was nuts for saying what I said, but like I don't even really know what Alex Ross looks like. I've not listened to him talk or anything.
They actually made a documentary about Kingdom Come.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like Kickstarter. They interviewed him, and he talks about how, like the Alan Moore pitched the Twilight of the Super Gods or whatever it is, and he was like, I mean, I at some point I saw the pitch, like, all right, I'm aware of it, but like we're still doing our own thing,
He is younger than my dad. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, that
means he's only. I'm 41. He is 13 years older than I am.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I'm actually really shocked by that.
Yeah, and it's funny because I have
to find out that Alex Ross is not even old enough to be my dad is shocking to me.
I've seen photos of him in, like, the 90s when he was doing, Kingdom Come. And, like, now I've seen pictures of him. He's just, like, a guy.
Yeah.
He's bald. Yeah, I
just saw that.
And like
I didn't know what he looks like, but like not until just now.
I know his dad.
No, I'm sorry, not 54, 56.
56, yeah.
Yeah. So he's 15 years old. Like he's still hardly old enough to even be my dad. Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. I know what his dad looks like because his dad was the human in Kingdom Come.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His so he always uses like reference models. And basically when he was doing like Marvels and Kingdom Come, he just called like a bunch of his friends to his apartment. It's like,
it's so photorealistic, you can tell it's got to be modeled off of something. I mean, he's essentially he's essentially like still frame rotoscoping.
Yes, yeah. And it's funny because like a couple of the folks in Kingdom Come are like Brian Azzarello and Jill. Crap, I can't think of her name. It was his wife at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, either way. Jill Thompson, I believe. Yeah. And like, yeah, he called his dad and said, "Hey, I've got this preacher character talk to the Spectre. Just stand there and look sad for a minute." So yeah.
Anyway, sorry, sidetracked us with that. What else do you want to say about this?
I like the rabbit guy, the random rabbit sidekick.
It was nice to see Balder again.
I know, yeah.
When was the last time you saw Balder in anything?
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, it's... Again, like that one little one-off where it was like, all right, I'm going to go fight the Troll King. And then it's like, you know what? Let's not fight. Let's have dinner. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a weird little one-off, but, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think overall, just as like a level of craft, this book has it. This book has, yeah.
Yeah, I had such a weird experience with, I don't want to go to Asgard, but then that stuff is written so well.
Yeah, like, I think this is a book that lives or dies by audience expectation. And
yeah, I want to know what's going on with this guy.
Yeah.
He's so oddly designed. He looks like he has to be another, like, Asgardian character.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think. But he's got these, like, really weird eyebrows. He's got, like, the strangest widow's peak.
Yeah.
And he looks like he should be another, like, Loki-type character.
And then you have the lawyer that comes in, too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that is probably going to be really important later, but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I might read more of this just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah. And I think
Like, I don't dislike it, but I also feel like there's missed opportunities with this premise.
Yeah. You know, I think bringing in a lot of the supernatural stuff as quickly as it didn't really do it a whole lot of favors to.
Right.
And
No, I
being,
agree with
like,
that.
careful with what... If it was just a little bit more careful with what it introduced and when, that would have worked to its benefit and would have made it easier for a lot of the folks who are coming in not knowing anything about, like, the Ewing run of Thor, or who are coming in expecting, you know, something completely different.
There's also a lot of big question marks, like with Blake and everything.
Yeah.
By the end of 5, where that first trade
Yeah.
doesn't actually feel like an arc. This is
Yeah.
clearly the kind of book that doesn't really have cutoff points.
Yeah.
Or, like, so far.
Right.
Maybe I'll read 6 and go, you should have taken the trade to 6.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
But I
kinda-
really felt like I was too much in the middle of stuff.
Yeah.
When I got to the end of this with Blake and his
His
eyeballs
weird
out,
eyes, yes.
and all of that. There's some stuff that's revealed there, but there's a lot more questions than answers.
Yeah. So, I said overall, I enjoyed this, but I think it really does live and die by audience expectations. So.
I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally got to read it too. Finally got to sit down and read it.
It's funny because it actually gave me more respect for Ewing, because he really knows how to write that, like, old school Thor stuff.
Yeah.
Which was shocking. Just how, I mean, not shocking that he could do it. Shocking that he could do it so authentically.
Yeah. I mean, again, that story about going and Thor fighting the Troll King, I mean, that is just straight up Simonson. That is,
Yeah, and the interactions with all those characters,
Yeah,
the
the
Warriors,
dialogue.
Thor,
Yeah.
and all of that. I like Aaron's Thor. It's so much more contemporary than that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he does not write that stuff like that. He's
No,
got a good
yeah.
voice for Thor. Oh, you know what? Something else I was gonna say. And last thing, real quick, is, I was also imagining at first, before I realized that it was 616, or that it at least seems like it has to be, and that it was going to have so much supernatural.
Yeah.
That it might have been cool to get. This would never happen.
Yeah.
But if it was more of the, like, just like, mortal guy who gets his ideas from Thor.
Yeah.
To do a, like, Disney Plus miniseries that's Hemsworth in an alternate reality. Because I had, and I've never had this reading a Thor comic.
Yeah.
I had Hemsworth in my head the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I can
it
see
read
that, too.
like his Thor.
Yeah.
Which might sound like a weird thing to say after I was saying that the Asgardian stuff was so Simonson.
Yeah.
But Thor's not actually there.
Right.
I mean, like, this guy is, and you find out that he's not really Thor, but he also reads differently after the amnesia.
Yeah.
He reads like Hemsworth in that first movie to me.
I could see that
when he
too.
first arrives on Earth.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
And I was imagining him playing it, and I was like, Hemsworth playing a Thor without powers that's a revenge killer?
Yeah.
He could totally do that.
Hemsworth is...
I was kind of imagining him doing that.
And Hemsworth is a deceptively, like, versatile actor, too.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see him in this, and... Again, it's funny that, like, Donald Blake was the villain, even though he's...
It's so weird.
Yeah, especially since Donald Blake's something that, like, a lot of modern Thor has tried so hard to get away from.
Yeah.
And they try to sort of push him back a little bit as much as they can.
But everything comes back around in some way.
Yeah.
And this is a real modern thing to do where we reinvent everything.
Right.
So next week we're gonna go back in time a little bit, Chris. This will be the first time on this show we're not doing something brand new,
right?
Or within the last few years. We're gonna go back to the early '90s.
Okay.
And we're gonna and I announced this already on the Vault, but now we're blending these shows. So this is gonna be the review for next time. Okay. Austin should be here, so all three of us are gonna review this.
Okay.
Or are gonna read this. But we're gonna do Batman Gothic.
Ooh, okay,
by Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
Which I've never read and have always wanted to. That is the second arc of Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And he and I did the first arc a few years ago, and I've always meant to get back to that book. So that's what we're doing next time. That's a 5-issue arc. Okay. And all of those stand, up to a point anyway, standalone and could have been released as miniseries.
Right.
And anyway, so I've always wanted to read that, so that's what we're going to do.
I have too, actually, yeah.
Have you never read that?
Never read that, no.
Sweet. Well, that's the plan. And anyway, anything else we need to talk about that we didn't get to? Did I miss any segments? I think I got all the segments.
And then we did, yeah. We shook the phone.
We did. Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thanks for all the stories about Planet Comic-Con. I hope that wasn't boring to people, us just talking about our con experiences.
Me being awkward around, like, tablers.
Here's the epic saga of Chris not knowing how to talk to famous people. No, I mean, I could sympathize with that, certainly. Like, I'll talk to somebody I've always wanted to meet, and then 9 times out of 10, I'll walk away going, man, there's that thing I wish I'd said.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's that thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to bring up and ask about that I didn't get to.
Right, yeah.
And you never get enough time.
Yeah. No, for sure. And especially, like,
there's a bunch of stuff with Welling I wanted to talk about that I just did not have time to do.
Yeah.
Like, I've been reviewing Smallville for, like, I don't know, 15 years.
I was going to say, since, like, the early days of the channel.
There's so much stuff I would have liked to have said to him that I just wasn't able to get to.
Oh, even, like, Jason, I mentioned I saw, like, Grant Kirkhope, and Jason was like, how'd you not mention the DK rap?
Yeah.
He had to catch a flight. He had 5 minutes left.
And I'm sure that's all anybody talks about with him.
Probably, yeah.
He's probably like, I wish I'd never written that.
No, yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing about that.
Exactly.
Why'd they have to put that in the Mario movie and bring it right back around again?
It's exactly.
Anyway, well, thanks for hanging out with us, folks. We'll see you again next Tuesday night. In the meantime, I was Captain Logan.
I'm Chris.
And that was Chris.
That's Chris, yep.
Bye, folks.
Bye, everyone.